Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I was looking for fun ways to tell you that Mint's offer of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month is back. So I thought it would be fun if we made $15 bills. But it turns out that's very illegal. So there goes my big idea for the commercial. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
This summer, Instacart is bringing back your favorites from 1999 with prices from 1999. That means 90s prices on juice pouches that ought to be respected, 90s prices on boxed mac and cheese, and 90s prices on ham, cheese, and cracker lunches. Enjoy all those throwbacks and more at throwback prices, only through Instacart. $4.72 maximum discount per $10 of eligible items. Limit 3 offers per order. Expiration September 5th. While supplies last. Discount based on CPI comparison.
Guys, this is our final tour ever.
Yeah.
We just wanted to say thanks for the years of support.
Yeah.
You know, I got my nice 2-bedroom ranch to go home to from 40 years of marginal talent.
This one's for Jerry Garcia, man.
Right.
By the way, I'm a 36-year-old man who sent the text, "Want to ride bikes and get ice cream?"
And I'm a 30-year-old man who couldn't have been more excited and said, yep, when are we going to go? Essentially. You know, I'm a spokesperson now.
Of course, yeah.
Like, I'm the new face of the organization to get equal rights for all of us with floppy feet.
I feel like it needs a tagline. Like, need something? No problem.
This week's episode brought to you by Amazon Prime. Need something? Wait 2 days.
It's never been more apparent after hearing that intro that our audio setup here is always kind of
In flux.
in need of repair, adjustment. I think we just need to hire someone to come in, turn all these little knobs to the exact spots they're supposed to be,
Yeah.
and then don't touch them.
Well, what we need is you and I to sit on the end while we do an episode.
Yeah.
And then have... Boy, do I sound like I'm in a tin can right now to
A
you?
little bit. Yeah, a little bit. Mine doesn't sound great either.
You see, you sound really good in my ears.
Yeah?
But I sound like I have a coffee can directly into the microphone.
Okay.
But we need a guy to come in and sit there while we record and just fiddle with everything
Yeah.
to get a real experience, because we've spent an hour-ish on trying to get this
Oh, yeah, you've been here an
figured
hour.
out.
Yeah. Well, we got some
And-
new equipment, completely unnecessary, apparently, because we don't know how to use it anyway.
Well, yeah, it's all a learning curve,
Yeah.
you know?
Got to have the best stuff.
This is the equipment we won during the recording a week ago.
No, now we're obligated to use it.
And now during recording a week ago, it sounds better than we did today
I think
on the
you
old
sound.
equipment.
I think you sound normal now. I think it was just when you were talking. When
It
the,
might just
when
be
the
in my
intro was playing.
ears.
But
because-
whatever. We digress. We're not going to spend an hour talking about
Right.
how the audio quality, because no one except us cares. So
Until they do. Until the downloads are like, hey, this audio quality can't stand.
So it's the Steve and Kyle podcast. It's Monday, July 17th, 2017, the year of our Lord. Like we said, we're working on we're working with some new equipment, so if things sound a little bit weird, a little bit glitchy, I'm actually not using the microphone that I normally use.
Yeah, you're
so everything sounds a little bit weird, and like we say every episode, we'll check that out and we'll make sure it's fixed for next week.
You're back to Studio Blue for the week.
Studio Blue, yeah.
We figured out, really, it was a personal problem. We didn't like some noise going on, so Steve just swapped the microphone out so we didn't have to hear it.
Yeah, gone. Got rid of that problem.
We are probably just going to go ahead and cut 2 minutes of awkward conversation this week, because
yeah, we're not even going to try.
that's not going to pan out with this new mixer. It's all weird. So hopefully, by episode 100, I think we're going to have this thing honed in.
Yeah, we got 47 to go, 48 to go.
Yeah, 47, 40. That's not bad.
No. No, that'll give us 6 months then to get it all.
Yeah,
and no, a solid year.
Yeah, almost a year. Yeah, I mean that's what you hear is a lot of the podcast hosts say we didn't really hit our stride until 100. We really we gutted it out for about 95 to 99 of them, but once you hit 100, that's when you're in your stride.
Well, that's when you hit the one button on the mixer that all of a sudden like clarifies everything.
Yeah.
Oh, sounds good now.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Should I take the manual home and do some reading?
Wouldn't be the worst idea.
All right.
Did you notice how when you walked in here, it was sitting right in front of my chair?
Yeah.
Like because this thing showed up in the mail last week, and the first thing I did, I go up there, I rip the box open, run down here, I plugged everything in, and I'm like, yep, sounds good to me. And put the manual out, like, I'll read up on this so I can know what all these buttons do. Because a lot of them I'm familiar with,
right.
But there are certain things that I don't know. I've worked in radio for 15 years, roughly, and I still don't know. Like, these are buttons that are on every board. And I'm like, oh, boy, don't know. Never took the time to learn that.
Well, come next week, we're going to be switching seats.
Oh, are we?
I'm going to be hobnobbing on all those little buttons.
Oh, okay. So you're still going to be hosting the show with me. You're not like reining yourself in, and you're just going to be a board op or an engineer.
Ooh, that does sound kind of intriguing.
I'll just get another Kyle to be a host.
Not enough room in this room for that. It has to be. I'll tell you, if we switch seats and I have to take over the mixer, though, we're going to have to redo everything and call it the Kyle and Steve podcast.
Of course. I mean, new websites, new Twitter, new Facebook.
Yeah. We get to start from scratch. It's the only logical way to handle this.
And then we'll have a competition to see which show does better.
Right. Well, the numbers are down. Maybe we should switch it back next week.
How many downloads did you get this week?
Which, by the way, thanks to everybody, and especially to those who have stuck around from the Free Beer and Hot Wings experiment.
Yeah, the hostile takeover.
Yeah, seeing some tweets and some Facebook stuff about very passive-aggressive. Like, I would have never listened to this until you jammed it down my throat, and I thought I might die of boredom, so I played it. Like, again, another one of the reigning Steve and Kyle podcast reviews.
Yeah, there's your review. You barely kept me alive.
Yeah, oh boy. I thought, there's a good chance, Steve, that I was this close to blowing a gasket right before we started recording today, too. Because I don't check the iTunes store and the review page as often as I'd like. So I pull it open in our hour precursor to recording, and like, oh, hey, man, we're up to 50 reviews.
Look at that, almost one per episode.
And we're at 5 stars. Like, that's great. Now, we've talked about the 2 1-star reviews. We're still waiting on former listener Kanan to chime in on why the other guy seems okay, but Steve sucks.
Yeah. Well, no, he explained why I suck, because I just repeat what Free Beer says.
That's right. So we've talked about those.
Valid reason.
One thing I did not expect, and we were lucky enough that this review came in this morning before recording. Yeah. I never expected a 4-star review.
Which we should be very happy with.
Yeah, but I'm not. And call it it's as irrational as you want to call it. But man, it's got to be a 5 or a 1, right? Either how do you find a middle ground with us talking about silverware and slow pitch softball
and
staplers,
the 3 S's?
Like, how do you find middle ground there? You either have to be enthralled by garbage, which apparently enough people are, where you think, boy, I can't wait to hear what they've got to say about this hot rockin' venture this week, or you say, hey, Steve's just repeating that silverware hot take from Free Beer. Those are the two camps.
Well, if there is one thing that I know Free Beer does, like, ad nauseum, way too much every single day, it's talk about silverware. So
I've been in there.
Yeah, if that's the case, you have to forgive me for. I was like, I'm a creature of what surrounds me, or whatever that saying is. Yeah, I'm a creature of my environment.
Yeah, it's following you around. You're thinking about fork texture. You're thinking about, do you want that little diamond cut out?
Oh yeah.
Now, is that just a salad fork?
Oh, that's a good question.
Because I've always wondered.
We'll have to ask Free Beer.
Oh, well, yeah. How can we not?
Just yesterday, we had a 30-minute talk about knife angle. Knife angle. Like, what do you prefer, 17 or 19 degrees?
I've always been a 19 guy. Now my issue with the knife is So you're talking traditional butter. Again, this is happening. If you're talking traditional butter knife, do you like the heavy serration, or do you like the more inset serration?
Oh, boy.
Because I think if you get the heavier serration that's like sticking out from the knife,
Kyle.
you're bordering on a steak knife.
Kyle. Everyone knows that it depends on the butter.
Oh, okay. Let's say you've got a stick.
You're going country crock.
Okay.
Heavy serrated.
All right.
You're going stick of butter, Land O'Lakes.
Yeah. Go less.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I mean, I'm embarrassed for you that I had to tell you that.
So that leaves the one burning question. Are those forks that have like the diamond in cut in between the middle prongs, are those salad forks, or are those...
Yeah, because it's like an extra like fish hook type thing. That maybe
what
it's
is
for
it? Like get that extra piece of lettuce?
Tomatoes, so like once you stab it, it doesn't...
What is the purpose of that?
Yeah, it's a good question.
Hashtag diamond forks. That's your call to action this week. If you have any answers or help for us, find us on social media. Use hashtag diamond fork.
Forks or fork?
Fork.
We got to get it right.
Singular, yeah.
I mean,
well, obviously, this call to action is going to go trending.
Yeah,
so we need to have this correct. Hashtag diamond fork.
Yeah.
Please help us because, Steve's getting married. And, well, I think the silverware discussion's already been had. But,
but I mean, it's never too late to go back and change the registry.
What if the set you registered for has the diamond fork in it? And you're sitting there at home like an idiot, and you don't know what to use it for.
Yeah.
So you use it for, ice cream whatever. Yeah, the forked ice cream. So today, out of nowhere, we get a 4-star review, which, again, irrationally infuriates me. Mm-hmm. And, well, here's my main concern, is we get compared to your side gig, which it should be the other way around.
Yeah.
This show is great for a few laughs and keeps you coming back. All right. Pretty good, right?
I mean, I'm a little disappointed at a few laughs.
Yeah, I think if we can get a handful in an episode, I'm pretty happy.
Yeah.
If you didn't laugh at that fork bit, you're going to want to hang it up this week. I think that's the best we got.
If you didn't laugh at it, well, you'll be laughing, or you won't be laughing again come December when it's in our year-end review.
Year-end review, when it's in the Steve and Kyle year-end fireside chat, and we're talking forks, you're going to be double disappointed. But the second half, as is prone to happen with these reviews, Steve, not quite as funny.
Yeah, it's all of our reviews follow a set 'em up, knock 'em down pattern. And I'm not talking bowling. I'm talking like stand somebody up, give them a little bit of praise, and then punch them right in the balls.
Right. Not quite as funny as the parent show, Free Beer and Hot Wings, but still really good. He tried to rebound. That's the whole review. I guess... Well, one, I don't like being compared to that radio show.
Right. It's bad enough that iTunes does that.
Yeah.
When you type in the Steve and Kyle podcast, it comes up with like Free Beer and Hot Wings and Adam Carolla. Well, I'll be compared to Adam Carolla, but don't compare me to my side gig.
Well, yeah, and a couple other really, really, really funny shows show up in the related laughs a minute.
There's the one, because there's another Steve and Someone podcast.
So how do I? So if I go to, I'm on the Steve and Kyle podcast. As if I go below, related. Okay, let's see. Oh, Riding the Pine, 4th.
Look at that.
Hey, Jimmy Pardo's in the first 6.
Oh boy,
that's an honor to be to even be. We never really talked about it last week, but I got a personal Twitter response from Jimmy.
You did. You did. That was your personal.
That was my personal Twitter.
Come on, man. If you're gonna do that, you got to do it for the good of the team.
I thought about it.
You got to do it from the show,
right? And I thought about it after. I was like, boy, how can I try to if I reply now from the podcast, I'm kind of going to think, wait, what's going on? And it's just going to be weird. Oh man.
Yeah.
So be sure to listen to none of the ones that show up as related. I look now and I'd be interested. The Christopher Titus podcast.
I wonder what the Tumbling Saber podcast is.
That does not show up on mine.
Oh, really? Yeah, I got that. The Pod Couple.
I'll say this.
GSMC Fantasy Football podcast.
Oh, boy. I'll say this. The first 5 of the first 6, I'm not touching with a 10-foot pole on my related. I'll just show you, Steve.
Oh, yeah. What's wrong with Free Beer and Hot Wings?
It's fine. It's on the radio.
Let's see. I have Kaiju Cast.
Wow. What? So this must be... No, that's weird. It doesn't make any sense. Why those are so different.
Put Your Hands Together with Cam and Rhea.
Huh.
Maybe it's based off of like my previous
It
downloads
has to be,
or something.
because I have Jimmy Pardo on there, but for some reason, I have Bert Kreischer. I've never listened to him.
Yeah.
But I...
Oh, yeah, it makes sense that I would have the fantasy football podcast. Because you know
Did
me.
we get our switched?
I know. Like, did you log into my computer?
Yeah, but Nikki Glazer, who's very funny, she shows up on mine as well. Yeah. You know what shows up in the top podcasting comedy that, as Jimmy Pardo would say himself, funny, is My Favorite Murder. You ever listen to that?
No, I haven't.
Whatever. They're massively, massively successful. So I tried to get into it because it's an interesting topic. They take murder a week type of thing that they find from history, and they each talk about a murder that has happened, and just lay it down. Until I realize, as I'm listening to an episode and I pull up on my phone the Wikipedia, they just each printed the Wikipedia page
and then just read it word for
highlighted
word.
parts and stumbled over it.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Listen, I'm sure, I know both the women's, Kieran Kilgraff and Georgia Hardstark, they're funny. Mm-hmm. They're very funny. But that podcast, oh boy, throw it in an ocean with Bill Burr. Not Bill Burr himself, Bill Burr's podcast.
Right, just his podcast.
Yeah, Bill Burr can stick around.
Let's see, I got the Steve and Greg podcast.
What? Oh, do we have a competitor?
And then Kyle Sherman Live. This is important. It gets weird. All right. Well, anyway, thanks for downloading the Steve and Kyle podcast.
Yeah,
the
thanks,
only podcast
Cold
worth
Brew
listening
45. Unreal.
So, you ever have those interactions where you don't even have to meet the person, but you know, I probably don't have a lot in common with them.
Okay.
I'm probably not going to like them.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, maybe because it's something that they're wearing, or like it's totally judging a book by its cover. And it's
right. Well, let's say today, if you're out in the street and somebody comes, oh my gosh, Steven, they're wearing a red hat that says "Make America Great Again." You're going to be a tiny bit predisposed, right?
Yeah, of course.
Now,
I mean,
now maybe not to the point where you say, "I'm going to hate this person," or "I already hate this person," but you're predisposed to think, "Oh boy,
yeah,
here we go."
Yeah, I already know right off the bat that we probably disagree on a lot of things. Maybe our morals aren't exactly the same.
Right. Yeah.
So I had that experience when I was driving. I left work. I took a different way home because I wanted to take part in my new favorite hobby, which is driving past houses that are for sale and looking at them to see if they look any different from the picture that's posted on the internet.
Well, I have a question for you,
Yeah.
just to briefly interrupt. We took, as we talked about, we took a little bike ride last night, wife and I, and drove by a house in our neighborhood. Now, would you be willing to up your price by about $35,000?
Yeah, well, I mean, of course.
If you think about that over 30 years,
Yeah, exactly. That's
drop
only...
in the bucket, Steve.
Yeah.
And this has a pool, so your insurance is going to be, only like 30 to 50% higher.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you change your mind, I've got a property for you. House is gorgeous.
Is it on a street where the street name is a name? Like Bob.
I think so. I think you're right. Because
it's around the corner from... Okay.
So if you're turning into my neighborhood, that street, if you just keep going straight.
On the right-hand side?
Yes.
We walked through it the other day.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Was it nice inside?
I'm going to tell you about that. We can skip to that now.
No, I shouldn't have interrupted. I apologize.
No, it's fine. We'll get to that a little bit later. But yeah, so I'm taking a detour home because I want to drive past a house that we saw. We're kind of curious about.
Did you find one near like the state capitol that I could drive to every day, which is like 55
yeah, it's
minutes
actually
the
in
other
Detroit. And there's no paved roads to get there.
Right, yeah, it's in the suburb. It's in one of those up-and-coming neighborhoods in Detroit.
Yeah, you have to drive through an urban farm to get there. So I'm driving there, and I stopped at a light, and I notice, there's a truck parked, or not parked, but at a red light in the opposite direction. Like, I pulled up right as the light was turning red for me. He was sitting there because the light was already red for him.
Okay.
And I look at him and I said, what does it say on his windshield?
Oh, it's never a good sign. On his windshield? So it's like a
across,
sticker
across
the
the
top.
top.
A sticker?
Yeah, across the top of the windshield. Like, for instance, if you wanted a sticker that said the Steve and Kyle podcast, which you can now find online at Steve and Kyle podcast. No, you can't.
Not yet.
Not yeah, not until Kyle gets a bigger printer or one of those old timey printers that prints like. Remember, you could print banners and stuff like on the dot matrix printer.
Yeah, yeah. Listen, we have garbage merch. We'll get to that in a little bit.
So I look over and I'm like, what the hell does that say on his windshield? And I am not a fan of the windshield banner at all.
Right.
I dated a girl that had the windshield banner, had her name on the windshield banner, and every day I'd be like, can I please peel that off? Because it makes you look trashy.
Really?
Yeah.
That's not a good sign.
So I look closer, and it's kind of in like a weird font, so you kind of had to... What is... And then I realized it said Slumerican. Like, I'm a slummy American. Because it was SLUM-ERICAN. Slumerican. And as he went by, I realized, I was like, there were two guys sitting in the front seat of the truck. It was like a full-size, like, F-150 size truck. And what the hell is that between them on the... Oh, that's a 15-inch subwoofer standing up, like, at head level, facing the front windshield.
Oh my God.
Like he had taken out the console between the two seats and put in the biggest speaker box that I'd ever seen and just aimed it at the windshield.
Wow.
Like, if you were sitting in the driver's seat, this box was so big, you couldn't see the person that was in the passenger seat next to you.
Like living, breathing embodiment of what a Slumerican would be.
Yeah, because he had a truck that probably cost like $600 because it was all rusty.
Yeah.
But I bet that stereo cost about $4,000.
Right. No kidding.
Yeah, and I thought, boy, I don't know if we'd get along.
So is that closer to your workplace, or was that closer to where we are right now?
Opposite direction. It was, well, strangely enough, over by my old house.
Oh, okay.
The old neighborhood.
Yeah, so you were riding around the old hood,
Yeah.
and you saw maybe one of your old neighbors.
Yeah, it could have been, but yeah, I just thought, oh boy, I bet we don't have a lot in common.
So you really do have a wide spectrum of area you're looking for.
Yeah, it's I would say from the downtown area, 20-mile radius.
Wow.
20-minute radius.
Right. But so you're looking for, you have your requirements, and your neighborhood is not like on the list of requirements.
Certain neighborhoods are
like
off the list.
Yes.
And where I was, I don't know. That wasn't where the house was that I was going to look at today. I was driving through there to get to another area. And because both of us knew the road, but we're like, man, that seems like it would be a really, really busy, highly trafficked road, which we don't want anything where it's like, we don't want to be sitting on the side of a highway. Yeah.
That's the one.
That's the one from, different, not the one that I was looking at today. But yeah, we walked through that house. You just showed me a picture.
So from the outside, when we rode by, gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. The siding, everything looked amazing.
I'm not a huge fan of the color on the.
It's like baby puke green.
Yeah, we were like, all right, well, we didn't let that stop us from looking at it because we're like,
it's gorgeous.
It's yeah, I mean it's in really good shape. So we walked through that house. We may as well just move.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Move all this house hunting right up. So
because now we're on. Is it safe to say we're on month number 2 of house hunt?
Well, officially, no. Officially, we're probably on like week 3.
Oh, okay.
That we've been getting all of the... we're working with a friend of ours who's a realtor. So he set up one of those searches for us. He asks us, like, how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, blah, blah, blah. And then it just, what's your price range? And it automatically, every time something new enters the MLS...
You get an email.
It forwards it to you. So that one... Strangely enough, we didn't get an email about that one, but Annette had been looking on Zillow like a week or 2 ago and saw that one. I was like, oh, this is in our price range. It fits all of our requirements. We don't know why. Our realtor said he's like, sometimes for whatever reason, it just, stuff skips. It misses a filter for whatever reason. So we went and looked at that, and neither of us were totally sold on it from just the ad.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. You look at the pictures and you're like, yeah, I guess. I mean, it looks nice, but
right. And the pictures
but I don't
I'm
really
looking
know.
at do look nice. Now it has an extra, looks like an extra half stall of a garage.
It's a full stall, yeah. It's a full
in the
stall,
back,
yeah.
so you could go wrenching.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then I looked at the backyard and I'm like, oh man, I don't want a pool, but
Oh yeah.
But boy, does it look nice.
Looks gorgeous, right? Covered deck,
Yeah.
massive deck with a pool built into it. Looks amazing.
Yeah, and it's just
well manicured.
It's one of those houses where it's not this like, obviously it's not a massive house by any means, but you can tell that, like the one I talked about last week, you can tell that they just took really good care of it.
Yeah, it looks really, really nice from the pictures.
So we walked in and the listing agent met us at the door. She was very nice, and she, if you could just, if you could take your shoes off because they don't walk around the house in shoes. Yeah, no problem at all. So we're walking around. We go up and we talk to her for a minute. She gives us like the one-sheeter on the house and gives us the little rundown. And she's like, all right, well, I'd love to talk to you before you leave. No problem. Sounds good. So we go off. We're walking through this house. The house is great. I think size-wise, it's everything we need. The potential to grow with us as we grow over time.
Yeah, 4 bedrooms. You
Yeah,
said you were looking
four
for your
bedroom,
2
2 bath.
bathroom. You
Yep.
found it. Beautiful.
APS, of course.
Oh, I looked.
We're
I saw
already
a nice
thinking-
little area.
Yeah. So we look at the whole house, and it like I said, it's very well taken care of. But like any house you walk through, the person that lives there currently, they're not going to have the same taste as you.
Right.
And that's, I mean, it's not anything against them. It's just like, I like blue, you like red. Okay, that's fine. But what was really difficult to get around was how like half of the rooms had like the wallpaper borders that you see like around the top of the room.
Yeah, gross.
Well, there was one where it was a repeating pattern of bear, moose, elk, deer. Bear, moose, elk, deer. Like, they were very woodsy, very outdoorsy.
Oh, boy.
And so we're like, okay, well, that's...
not my... wouldn't be my thing, but...
Hey, that's fine. You like being outside? You like hunting? Cool. But when you're looking at a house that's already pushing it, like, oh, boy, I don't know. It's kind of... It's more than we want to spend, but we figured... It's an open house. It's on a Saturday. Let's just go to it.
Take a look.
What's the worst that could happen?
Cookies, crack, any snacks?
No snacks.
Book it. you know better. That I saw the real estate agent's name, the company, when I was looking. We had an issue with them when we were looking for a house too.
Really?
Where
with no cookies?
Well, we were gonna go with them and canceled like 2 meetings. We went to their office one day. There was like 4 people sitting around, but apparently no agents. They said everybody was out of the office. It was just the weirdest things ever. And so we had a meeting like, hey, can you do it? You do it like tomorrow at 11? No, we both work. We have jobs. Oh, well, I'm supposed to have this thing tonight. It's like, we're signing on to give you a heck of a lot of money when we buy a house.
Yeah.
If you can't, cancel your pickup basketball game, I'm sorry, but now that I hear they're not even putting out cookies or anything at the open house.
Not one cookie to be seen.
Now, is this the first one you've had where they haven't had snacks, or has this been the regular?
Well, we've only been to one other open house, and
okay.
they didn't have snacks either.
What? Well, we got to get you over to one of our softball teammates' open house, because I don't know if you've seen have you seen his pictures?
No.
Oh man, he'll post pictures, so he'll have like 2 things of nice cookies from like one of the grocery stores, and then like 3 8-packs of like Coke Diet and Sprite,
at that. Like the little mini ones. I love the mini ones.
Right, and you're walking through houses where you're getting shuttled through like slave labor to get in and out, so they can get the next person through.
Terrible. They're forcing us through.
We got to get you to a different one.
So we look through the upstairs, and we're like, oh yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. Obviously, we need to paint every room because I don't want like the old lady's faux painting on the walls and moose heads. And then we get downstairs, and the downstairs, there's such a great amount of room down there, but it had an honest to God antler lamp, or not lamp, like an antler chandelier.
Oh. Huh.
I was like, I can't.
So not quite your taste, but
not
pretty
quite,
close,
not quite.
right? Like,
no.
Like if it was like a bear paw on the chandelier, you just like the big game hunting, right? You're like Don Trump Jr.
Right.
You don't go for the little stuff, the deer.
There were even like the light switch plates, like the one that's right behind
like
you,
woodsy themed.
Yeah, they were like dark wood and stained with like claws on them.
So that's why they went baby puke green on the exterior.
I guess so.
Because, it's like woodsy. Hey, it's like half camouflage.
The one thing that I've learned in this whole process, I really like an open house.
Do you really?
I want to buy every one of them that I go through.
See, I get that. I hate going to, because we've talked about it probably off the air mostly, like sending me along as like the negative guy. Like, I don't know if this is structurally sound over here, to talk people out of it, because then I feel like it's a competition.
Yeah.
And especially like if you make an offer from an open house, if you run into like a weird or a dirty real estate agent, they go, well, we got a handful of offers. Well, a couple over, even if it's not.
This one was it was strange. You could tell that she was desperate to sell this house because she
just went up.
It was up for a while and then it came down.
Okay.
And then it was back up. And because we had first seen this maybe a week ago, which doesn't sound like a lot, but in this market, in this area, if something's on the market for more than like 4 days, it's a shock. So so we walked through the whole place, walked through the backyard, the deck, the patio. I'm in love with this place. Not totally in love with it, but like I'm thinking
you're envisioning yourself spending time in these places and thinking this would be a nice place to relax.
I'm thinking to myself, this could work. This could work for me. It had most of the things on our checklist. So we go back upstairs afterwards, and she says to us, "So, are you working with a realtor?" I said, "Yep, yeah, we are." She said, "Okay, well, are you interested?" And I said, "Yeah, I think we are. We weren't really looking for." I said, "I'll be honest. The pool in the backyard is kind of a turnoff.
Right.
I don't want that responsibility or the liability." She says, "Just take it out." Now, she made it seem like I could just take it out, like I'm taking out the garbage. Like, let me just roll this down to the curb. And I mean, it's a legitimate in-ground pool. It's not like it's one of those above-ground round ones that you could just, drain the water out of it and then knock it down and take it away.
Your best case scenario is a cement slab, the equal size of said swimming pool in your backyard.
Right. Or having to get, 50 million yards of dirt dropped off, and then I have to wheelbarrow them like around the house and dump them into the pool one at a time. Like,
now, hear me out.
That's one.
You may not want a pool. Have you thought about wanting a basketball court? Maybe that's what you need. You don't want the pool. Obviously, it's a liability and insurance wise, but you look like a hooper.
Yeah.
Like, it looks like you're running around dribbling.
How about bowling? I'll put a bowling alley.
Bowling alley.
Yeah.
Look at that, done deal.
Or a bocce ball court.
Options.
I'm eventually going to be an old Italian man. All old Italian men play bocce ball.
Right. Oh, I think that's a great idea. I think we can utilize that space. So we just need a couple metric tons of concrete.
Yeah. Does anyone have that?
And
can you just drop it off?
Well, I tell you, that hardware place trying to give me one. We could start there. That was a bag of Quickcrete.
Yeah. So, that'll get us at least 4 inches of concrete
in
the bottom.
How many bags? Like if we did this on our own, how many bags of Quickcrete would we need?
I feel like that would be too much weight, for the ground. And
you're probably right.
I mean, I watched a news story earlier today about a sinkhole that opened up and swallowed 3 homes in Florida.
Right.
I feel like that would happen.
Well, that then opens up the opportunity for you to become a spelunker.
Yes. By the way, did you pull that house up on Zillow?
No, that was on a different site.
do me a favor. Type in that address on Zillow and see what it says. Because now...
It's pending.
Oh, it is pending.
Gone.
Oh,
You lost your chance, Steve.
Well, here's... she said, so are you interested in the house? And I said, I was like, yeah, well, I think we are, but the pool is a turnoff. Just take that out.
No worries, sir.
And so Annette was filling out like the questionnaire that they give you.
Mm-hmm.
And so it says, what do you think this house will sell for? What do you like about it? What do you not like about it? Well, she just writes the decor. Oh, which, I mean, when we go to sell this house, the last thing in the world I want is to read any of those because that'll be very hurtful.
Yeah.
But I mean, I feel like I would hopefully not take it personally. Because I don't expect everyone to like how our house is decorated, just like I'm not going to like how their house is decorated.
It's to each their own. To make you feel a little bit better about not getting this house, to briefly sum up the housing market that you're running into right now, the Zillow estimate for this home, do you have a guess? So I'm not going to say what it is.
Yeah.
What it was listed at. Let's say over or under.
Okay,
give
so
me a number.
I know what it was listed at.
Yep. What do you think over or under the number is that it Z estimate, the Zillow estimate says it should be?
The estimate, I bet, is, I want to say $10,000 under what the asking price was.
$58,000.
$58,000 under the asking price?
Under.
What? Oh, good Lord, someone got ripped off.
Somebody got ripped off. So this goes back.
That's hurtful.
Put your name in the pipeline because financing's about to fall through for somebody.
Oh, God, yeah, there's no chance that they're going to be able to cover that.
Isn't that crazy? So that's what Steve is dealing with right now, trying to find a home to live in and raise a future family in.
Yeah.
Is dealing with homes estimated at $50,000 over what they should be.
And the thing is, we're doing this on our own free will. We don't need to be out of this house.
No, you're just forcing yourself into this misery while you're trying to get married. Has that been discussed? Because obviously you're not married yet.
Yeah.
So has it been discussed about how the mortgage would go? Would you guys co-sign? Is that conversation taking place?
We have our pre-qualification.
Okay, with both of you.
Yeah, both of us on it.
Okay, so when she hits the bricks, she decides to go out for greener pastures.
Yeah.
We need to secure in some breakup legal documentation that we still get to use the APS.
Yeah, obviously Annette and I are going to have a prenup because she wants to protect her riches from me, and I want to protect all of my riches from her.
Well, I don't know what she would do the second you go after her woodwind instruments.
Oh, that's true.
You know? Because, hey, half of them are yours.
Yeah.
That's the way it works,
That's right.
But then half of these microphones are hers, and then we're in a fight.
Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Can you imagine the two, you and I, on the end of a half a countertop, shouting into one microphone in the center of us?
Or we're just in the middle of recording, and she walks in with a chainsaw and just cuts it right in half.
The TV monitor, we could have talked about it. It didn't have to be this way.
So the crazy thing was the woman, the listing agent, basically begging us to
offer
to put in an offer.
Which looks like it didn't matter.
Because she said, she's like, oh, let me just, I'm not really supposed to say, but we have one offer, but it's way, way low, way below the asking price.
Well, it now turns out that person way, way under was closer to the estimate.
Sure. I hope for their sake that
they got it.
Because we ended up not putting in an offer on it.
Because there are,
I wanted to, Annette didn't, and it was just we have the agreement where, like, if we're not both all in, then
right. Well, then that means one, you're already starting off your marriage on a bad foot.
Yeah.
And two, one person's going to be unhappy in that home.
Sure.
Presumably, right? Maybe
exactly.
Maybe they come around to liking it, maybe not.
There have been a bunch of them that she has found that I've said, I don't. It just doesn't. Right. I don't know. It doesn't. It looks like it would be like we've used the term lateral move about a dozen times.
Yeah.
Where it's like we see something and we're like, well, yeah, it's fine, but it's not getting us
any of the improvements.
Anything. Yeah, it's not getting us. It's not getting us all the work that we don't want to put into this house.
Right. It would make for a great story, though, when in like 3 to 5 years on this podcast, we have to talk about how Annette left you for the pool boy who took care of the pool she didn't even want.
So help me God.
So a pool she didn't want, but now she's engaged to Enrico, and they're leaving the country, and you're just shaking your fist. How did I get that pool?
Enrico!
I don't know why I didn't go with Enrique. Is Enrico a name?
I don't think so.
No. Been watching too much Sopranos.
Yeah. But man, I really like open houses. Like I want to go to a bunch of them this weekend if I can.
Boy, those sound miserable to me.
No, it's great because you can judge people.
Well, yeah, I get
walk
that.
through and you're like, oh, what is that? Nice door, stupid.
Oh, I was about to say, let me know where you're going this weekend, but then I remembered we're already occupied this weekend, so no open houses.
Yeah, we'll get to that in just a little bit.
Because I was gonna go, like I said, be the hype man, or like the negative guy who sits off and just when somebody walks by very quietly, be like, I think these studs are off by about 4 inches.
Yeah, you're constantly like tapping the wall like with your knuckle, like, oh boy, you hear that? That's termites.
Yeah,
see that? If you hear that hollow sound,
yeah.
There's not enough insulation in there.
You didn't? Did you hear someone died in here last month? That was right in this corner.
Shh, quiet. Listen. You hear that?
Is that from the vet?
Somebody in the crawl space or what?
But it's going to take this weird nod from you to be like, hey, we like the house, get the people out of here type of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Either that or I could just act like the crazy person, run around like, I used to live here.
You'll never get it away from me. You have to pry it from my cold, dead hands.
Government's one thing, you're another.
So I noticed that there are certain ways that you can tell if, like, just from the description of a house, whether you're looking on Zillow or any other, any other website, any other real estate website, like the realtor lingo. And I'm sure that some of the guys on our softball team, like Sims, could attest to this. Like,
well, yeah, because he's obviously a dirtbag real estate agent.
Yeah,
right?
total dirtbag. Like, for instance, sayings like, ready for you to put your touch on it, or built solid as a rock, or lovingly maintained by the original owner. I've noticed that those three sayings are all just code word for a really old person lived here, died, and now their family is trying to sell it. Like, because you click on the pictures and it's big fluffy ruffles on the curtains, shag carpeting, like golden oak everything, and just
like enjoy must.
Yeah.
And a lot of really weird like figurines.
Hey, remember those like pieces of shag carpeting that your grandmother used to put on her toilet seat?
Right.
We got that.
Yeah, it keeps it warm. They're neat.
Yeah. But man, there was one like in this housing market, you don't need to do anything to sell a house. You basically have to post pictures and a price, and someone is going to buy it within 3 days.
Man, I would almost be tempted to post a house, be like, driveway recently split in half, basement floods twice a year, asking $200,000.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Well, there was one that I looked at last night, and I think I posted on Twitter or on Facebook, or actually maybe both.
Oh, yeah.
But I said, let me pull up what my post was. Oh, yeah. Quote, new furnace in 2001, end quote, is not a positive selling point for a house in the year 2017. This one house, it was like, new roof in 2014. All right, cool. New water heater in the last 6 months. Great. New furnace in 2001. That's 16 years ago.
That means you're closer to replacing it than not replacing it.
Yeah,
right?
Definitely. Yeah.
What's the 25?
From what I've heard, you get 15. After 15, you're kind of like, oh, I don't know, you're on borrowed time.
It could go at any point, right?
Yeah. So that's not a selling
you're already
point.
on borrowed time, and they're trying to act like, hey, post 9/11 furnace.
Yeah.
This doesn't know the old world.
But there are so many things. But yeah, and every time I see those keywords pop up, I'm just like, there's no point in even looking at it.
Why waste our time?
Because as soon as I click that first right arrow and it pulls up the picture of the living room with like Hummels and a thimble collection and a quilt hanging on the wall, I know that. Yeah, I know that a lot of it's cosmetic, but a lot of it's also not.
Yeah, and that's still extra. All right, I gotta tear this out.
Yeah.
Do that.
I don't know how to take down one of those little chairs that rides up the side of your steps.
Right. Yeah, I don't know how to not make a motorized cart go up my stairwell.
Yeah. Like, I don't know how much work it would be to take out that snaking handicap ramp that goes up to the front deck.
Right. Yeah, that, you know, it looks really great, covering half the yard with 3 legs of a ramp.
So the search continues.
Yeah. Oof.
We're thinking about...
This process sounds atrocious, by the way. I can't say it
bad.
enough. It sounds...
It's really bad.
In hindsight, we got very, very lucky buying our first house. We saw 4 houses, and this was the only one that I would deem livable. Mm-hmm. Well, I think I told you.
My house, the house I lived in.
You bought without seeing it.
That was the first house I looked at.
Oh, you looked at it.
I looked
at
one house and I bought it. I looked at it and I'm like, yep, this will do.
Right. We bought.
Here's my offer. Accepted. All right, great.
One of ours, our realtor brought us to the wrong house. Same road.
Like walked you through it?
Yeah, oh yeah. We were there. It was like, yeah, we're here. We might as well go take a look. One was on a road that we specifically said, hey, I don't want to live on this road. It's way too busy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, walk through it anyway. One was one about, oh boy, I could probably hit the train car with a rock.
So that would be nice and quiet.
Yep, hard pass. One was, we walked in and you could tell it was treated as like an old apartment style living. Mm-hmm.
So everything was like subdivided.
Kind of, yeah. And you could tell that nobody'd been in there in months because there was an inch of standing water in the basement.
Oh, yeah. Probably a bad
you
one
know
to
what?
Go for.
We just hit the road. This one's not going to pan
Yeah.
out. So honestly, we may be distorted because the one we bought was the only one livable for us. And we weren't half as, the timetable wasn't like what you guys are on now, where if you don't see a house before it's listed and offer within the first 10 minutes, you don't have a chance.
It seems like, because there have been a few that I've looked at and I said, that one could work.
Yeah.
I'll wait until tomorrow and I'll ask Dan about it. And then the next
Gone.
day, it's gone.
Man.
They just disappear too.
Well, it's a bummer on this house because I feel like we could have really sold a net on the bocce ball court instead of the pool or the bowling alley. Yeah,
that one and the one that we actually put in an offer on.
Well, that one's going to haunt you. You're going to look back and not enjoy that.
I swewer, I'm still, every day, I'm going
holding
online.
that hope, right?
I'm going online and I'm typing in the address.
Well, I hate to use some code words, but do you want a little fixer-upper, but a house that was lovingly maintained for years?
Lovingly maintained by its original owner, has great character, built solid as a rock.
It looks solid. And let's call it a deck that you could work on. The house across our street.
Oh, you mean the ever popular handyman special?
Right. So the house across the street from us got foreclosed on, which in this market feels crazy, right? Mm-hmm. If you're behind, you
there
sell
are a ton
it
of them
and
out
you
there.
make like $50,000.
There are a ton of them out there because when everything crashed like 7 years ago,
right?
That's when you should have like refinanced.
Yeah, done it then, right?
No one did.
Man, so I went and peeked around the windows of this house the other day because the family left a week and a half or 2 weeks ago. Yeah, I was peeking around. I was like, because I have a friend coming back from overseas. He's looking for houses. Like, this might work. He's like, go check. Only thing I've seen about these foreclosed houses are from It's Always Sunny, and they smear poop on the walls.
Yeah, and take out all the copper.
Right. And so there's going to be holes in the wall where they pulled all of
all the pipes out.
Yeah. So I go, look, it's pretty well taken care. Like, inside looks clean. They left just garbage in the garage. But then I go around the side, and it looks like, the only way I can describe it is they decided we're going to add on to this deck, and we are going to make this thing huge with like a nice... And while he knocked out the first railing, a postman came up to him and said, your house is being foreclosed on. So he dropped his tools, left the lumber.
So the hammer's still sitting there.
It is annihilated. Like,
man.
Like he took like a sledgehammer through some of the spindles, went like We're starting from scratch, honey. We're going to have a beautiful deck. We're moving in 6 months.
Oh, no.
Forget it all.
All right, now I need to find this house.
It's probably not. I'll, oh boy, I was going to say I'd type the address, but I'm not on the screen.
Mm-mm.
Let me type the address in here. Well, you know my road name, right?
Yeah, I know, but
You know my address? Do you know the number?
Reason I can't find it on the...
Here, it's, I'll just pass this. Look at the number. That's the number to look at.
Okay.
But I don't know if there's pictures, because as far as I know, it's not listed yet.
Yeah, it's weird with the foreclosures. It doesn't actually... It
Right.
just shows, like, the satellite view.
It's great. And so we were actually outside. I'm trying to get... My mother made it abundantly clear to me about a week or two ago. She said to me, quote, you're going to go back to work and realize you didn't do anything when you were off for these 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
So I was spurred this last week to get the garage painted. We've wanted to paint which is white paint.
Yeah.
Like
Inside or outside?
Inside.
Okay.
And because I have these old beer signs my dad got me and stuff that I like to hang in there that's been sitting since we moved in 3 years ago now.
Right.
So I got to painting. Well, sure enough, a real estate agent pulls up across the street. Well, we didn't know at the time. Somebody just pulls up, starts looking through the windows and everything, comes across over to our house and, hey, you know anything about that? Yeah, they're gone. Oh, okay. They didn't even know. Like, that's how weird this whole process is.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to get info. Like I said, I might have somebody who'd be interested in buying it. But well, it's a lot easier now that we don't have to evict them.
Sure.
And but could be weeks, could be months. He said, yeah, the back deck's shot. And in my mind, I was like,
was it that man?
nope.
Oh, okay.
Nope, that's not. I let his business card go through the washer, so I'm now in some trouble about trying to pass that on to somebody.
Oopsie.
But he looked through and they took all the appliances, the back deck shot. But other than that, it looks okay in there. So I was asking about it, and I said, he was telling me things that, oh yeah, sometimes people will take all of the light switch plates.
Yeah, if they have metal in them.
Like,
because you can scrap them. You can go
that's
to get a couple cents.
Me.
But to put that in perspective, I scrapped an entire garage door. An entire metal garage door.
Mm-hmm.
You know how much I got for it?
$150.
$4.
What are you doing,
$4.
people? That life's not worth it.
Yeah. For an entire garage door.
No, that's too much work. That's not worth it.
No.
That's nonsense.
Well, I'm looking at it right now. Doesn't look like, size-wise, I don't think it's going to meet our needs.
Well, what I've encountered on that site is those do not include the basement. I think from what I found, just add $800 to that from what I saw on another site. But still,
all right.
I don't think it would fit your needs anyway. I looked like I said, I went window peeking.
Sure would be nice for the podcast, though.
Yeah, right?
Oh,
Wouldn't
yeah,
it?
finished basement, 800 square feet.
Yeah, it's just not shown on those total square footage estimates.
That's a game changer right there.
But you willing to buy all your own appliances?
Yeah.
We could wrench a deck.
That's what they call it, right?
Wrench on
Hey, when I come over and wrench a deck.
Hammer some nails away on that puppy.
Put in the old elbow grease.
Put in the old elbow grease.
I'm gonna have to drive by that house. So if you see me creeping in looking in the windows of your neighbor's house,
you know what? I'll save you the trouble. I'll take pictures of me creeping, looking through the window so you can see.
All right.
I don't think you're gonna like the layout. It's older style in there.
So it's like formal sitting room in the front. And
just like it's not a bi-level, but it had that feel to it to me. Like the kitchen was super separated from the living area, which backed up to the stairs. Obviously, I couldn't see anything of the basement, but the gate was unlocked, so I walked around the backyard to take a look. Oh yeah, come on by. Come on by. We'll take a look through the old. We'll take a walk.
You'll give me the tour.
Yeah, I'll give you a tour. Show you what I've seen, what I know.
Like how you've become the de facto.
I'm pretty much the agent on this house. I can get you the runaround.
Oh, nice. I'll get you a commission and all.
Oh yeah, you know what? I'll even cut it in whatever half of a regular commission is because I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, maybe I gotta talk to Sims. See what the market's looking like these days.
Well,
He's got the inside track on some hot props.
Yeah,
that's what they call properties.
A lot of
is it? No.
Well, when you're searching for a house, that's what we call them. We don't have time. We just don't have time for those extra syllables. 2 syllables.
Yeah.
Prop-er-t.
Yeah.
You don't have time for those.
Yeah. So I walk into the office. Sims, give me the hot props.
Yep.
And then he faxes them to me.
Right. Because all that time you just gained by saying props, you now have to give back because they have to fax things to you, right?
Yeah, they probably call it like the hot sheet.
Right. Hey, get in here, crew. It's time for the daily hot sheet. All the new hot props. I've seen a lot of the ones he has listed that he posts on Facebook. Hey, come out to my open house. They're all, they're really expensive.
What are you saying? You saying Sims is better than me?
He's not living in these properties. He's just selling them.
You saying his houses are out of my price range?
I guess I'm saying Sims is better than you at being a real estate agent as much as you are better than him at being somebody on the radio.
All right.
And saying that they don't relate.
All right, I'll take that.
I do like the idea, though.
As long as I'm better than him.
Oh, selling nicer houses than mine, huh? Think you're better?
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah, that's nice.
Think you're better than me, huh? Okay. Well, we've talked about Sims. Do we want to... We shouldn't belabor it again because we talked about it on the radio.
Boy.
And I get that's not fair because people listening to this aren't daily listeners to that show or get the podcast or listen all the time.
Yeah.
But it was talked about somewhat in depth, Steve. The softball doubleheader last week that we teased on our last episode, which is our last two, turns out, regular season games, as we do have a tournament game next week.
Next week?
You didn't
not tomorrow?
What day is it? Tomorrow!
It is tomorrow, right?
I'm so out of sorts being
because, boy, was I really disappointed to see that message pop up on Facebook. I was done, man. Mentally, I had it checked out.
Oh, man.
And I was done.
But this team is a team, so this team is tied for first. They were second seed by default that we're playing tomorrow. Mm-hmm. We've beaten them before. This is the Sasquatch team.
Mm-hmm.
We beat them last time. It's a winnable game. Sure, now we're down our starting pitcher.
We beat them last time when Sasquatch wasn't there.
But we already had a game plan for Sasquatch. We were just going to walk him every time he got near the plate. It wasn't going to be an issue. So the softball doubleheader last week, a couple of incidents. I would argue one much more substantial than the other. Mm-hmm. So we'll start with the lesser of the two in game one of the doubleheader. We played this team once or twice before now, and they're pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Full uniforms.
Yeah. And the game was going in our favor. We were winning. We were up 14-8 at one point. It was the fifth or sixth inning when a ground ball, Steve, was hit to third base.
Yep.
And the third baseman had to range to his left side to get it. So he obviously was off third base. So he got the ball, and to get the force out at third base from the runner from second, he was in a sprint, a foot race to get to third base before the runner. So he gets to third base, and he could either touch the base or touch the runner. He tags the runner.
Oh, he did? I thought he touched the base.
He tags the runner on the body. And the momentum, because he was running, carries him probably, 2 to 3 steps into the infield. Mm-hmm. On that transition, he reaches into his glove to get the ball. I don't know if he was going to throw it to second to make sure nobody ran, whatever. Or give it back to the pitcher because the play was over. We got the force out. And when he goes into his glove to get it, the ball drops. Okay? Not, in my mind, and everybody on the bench's mind, not an issue. Well, I guess that was me, because I was the only one not playing. Right. Not an issue because he tagged the guy and was moving through the play to get rid of the ball. So the umpires convene. Or no, they didn't convene at first.
It was called an out.
Called out, which so I take a breath. I'm like, okay, good.
Yeah.
No worries, right? No worries. Play doesn't immediately resume. The home plate umpire starts walking out. Second, the umpire in between first and second starts coming in. They're going to have a little conference. Mm-hmm. Now, that's right where you are.
Yeah, I'm standing. They were as close as I am to you right now.
So you know more of the interaction that took place than I do upon their meeting. So they decide to talk about it to make sure there's no misunderstanding about who's making the definitive decision on this play.
Yeah, the home plate umpire was the exact opposite of what you want from an umpire. Very indecisive.
Yeah.
Like you want to, even if you're making the wrong call, you make the call.
Exactly.
He's out. He's always out. He's always going to be out. Mm-hmm. Out, out, out. Strike, 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 ball, ball, ball. Well, he walks out, and normally you would, like if umpires are going to have a little conference, they're kind of going to speak under the breath. What'd you say? What'd you think he was out? Yeah, I thought he was out. Okay. Well, he's walking out, and they're still like 30 feet apart, and he goes, he said something along the lines of like, man, I don't know, I'm really confused. I didn't really see what happened.
And this is that play is the home plate umpire's play.
Mm-hmm.
Because the line of sight down the third base side for him should be clear.
Yeah.
Right? So he goes out, they have this meeting. It couldn't have been more than 30, 45 seconds before they talk.
But in him saying that, that's what prompted, in him saying, I'm confused, I didn't really see what happened, that's what prompted a player from the other team to come off the bench and come out and start arguing the call.
Away? See, I thought it was after the fact.
It was... because I could see him. As soon as he said that, everyone on their team started kind of like, oh, like you could see the little buzz. Of course they would. If it was the other way around, I'm sure, yeah, you would have been doing the same thing. Like, oh, cool, there's doubt in his mind. Who knows? Maybe I can argue this call.
So they have this conference. They walk away, out.
Mm-hmm.
And that spurs one gentleman from the other bench to sprint to the field. And I'm rolling my eyes now on the bench.
Yeah.
But at this point, we're up by 5 runs. All right, whatever. If they want to, because there's a time limit in slow pitch softball. And so at this point, I'm already counting in my head. I'm looking at my phone, thinking if they want to kill this many more minutes, they can't start a new inning after a certain time amount. Mm-hmm. No big deal. They must have argued 4 minutes.
Easily.
I mean, to the point where I couldn't believe what I was seeing because they fit 3 games in a night on this field.
Mm-hmm.
And that's secondary. Primarily, it's slow pitch softball.
Right.
Right.
And honestly, I've never understood the point. Well, until now, I've never understood the point in arguing a call because, like in that call, he was out. No, he was safe.
What are you going to argue?
No, he was out.
Yeah.
No, he was safe. I mean, unless it was such a blatant thing, like where it wasn't a force out and he would have had to tag him, but instead of doing that, he touched the bag.
Right.
Where, somebody could have said something to say, hey, no, you really got this wrong. Where he would have said, oh my, how did I screw that up?
Yeah.
Like this call was a complete judgment call.
Right. Which, from my point of view, and granted, I probably had a better point of view than the field umpire because I'm close to third base
mm-hmm.
where we were on our bench. In my mind, it looked clear.
It was from where I was, which is basically where the umpire
spot.
was. It was clear.
So this guy, and all I see is from the bench is hand motions. He's doing this. He's doing this. He's slapping his hand like Tom Walk chops, and then he's doing this, and he's trying to show like, oh, he bobbled it. Which again, this is all idiocy.
Yeah.
This team is third place, a game and a half behind second place or whatever. Literally no matter
right
to what they can do. So it's their last game of the year. It doesn't affect them whatsoever, right? The umpires come away, and I'm like, oh, thank God, finally. And I see one go, he's safe. And I was so defeated that on the bench, I'm pacing because I hate coaching softball. I throw the clipboard 10 feet in the air. I go, oh, you gotta be effing kidding me. And I've got lineups for 12 games in there, and they go like it's a
ticker tape parade.
Yeah. And I start walking out there. I go, are you kidding me with this? Like, what can possibly happen? So I actually told the umpire, like, well, then I'm going to sit out here and argue with you. And the home plate umpire, or the field umpire at that point was like, nope, it's over. Get back.
And I echoed your, I believe I said something along the lines of, like, you got to be effing kidding me also.
Just absurdity,
because
right?
at that point, the home plate umpire started walking back out to the mound where the field umpire was. And I pointed right at him, and I said, you walked out here and you said, I don't know, I'm confused, I didn't see what happened.
Which he never debated.
And now you're going to make this call.
Yeah.
Now you're going to reverse this call. And the whole time in my head, I'm like, what are you doing? Doesn't matter. Softball. No one cares about softball. This is stupid. But it's like when somebody does something so dumb and so wrong right in front of you, it doesn't matter if it matters or not. You still want to point them out and just be like, come on, man, you're wrong. Like, it's cool. You can just say, sorry, made a bad call. And we'll move on from it.
Especially this whole thing took like 6 to 7 minutes, which is idiocy, right?
Yeah.
And I don't think it should be looked at as like, oh, you're taking it too seriously. Because at that point, I mean, if everything's going to happen like against us, why are we even out there? Because at that point, It's not fun. It's just, why are we even trying? Like, oh, you're out. No, I wasn't, but oh well, shucks, Yeah. It's the same. I might as well go hit a tennis ball against a wall. I'd have just as much fun doing that, right?
Yeah.
Well, push comes to shove, so thank goodness that didn't end up affecting it. That runner did not score, but I think that did, in the long run, I absolutely think that affected the team.
Sure. Well, because while I was telling him how stupid he was for making that call, the one umpire said to me, "One more word and you're kicked out of the game." Or he said, "One more word and you're heading home." To which I looked right at him. I stared at him as he stared back at me, and I did the motion where you zip your lips like there's a zipper on them, and I went, and then I flicked the key.
That guy is too wound up. We've had him as our This is the ump that for the first time this year I saw you actually on the bench thinking, say out loud, wasn't that exact same pitch 6 seconds ago a strike? Because this guy just confused. Yeah. Like just bad, whatever. It was bad.
Well, then later in that game, there was a play where Sims got caught in a rundown. He pulled a Steve. He got caught in a rundown and eventually was called out at third base, and he was out. But that home plate umpire made the most animated, like, "You're out of here!" Like so over the top. Yeah. And I point right at him and I said, "That's the kind of confidence we're looking for."
Yeah, because I got mad at him or the other guy. I said in between innings, joking. Well, not in between innings, during a play when one of the other team's runners, it wasn't even a close play. I was joking, crossed home plate, to score a run, but we had to throw into the plate. I said, "Hey, he didn't call it. Was he safe or was he out?" And so the guy goes, "I don't call it when it's clear." And I said, "I would like some enunciation on these." So he took that as like a joke, and started calling him like
he's like the umpire from Major League, where he's like doing the moonwalk, dancing.
So in hindsight, I think that affected us enough that it took us out of the game. Really, we were up 14-8. We ended up losing in walk-off fashion, 16-14 on a 2-run home run.
Yeah, that was pretty rough.
That was the worst loss of the season mentally.
Yeah.
Because that's a game we should have won. I mean...
Yeah, we were up by 8 runs at one point.
Yeah, that was a runaway. So that was, again, the least offensive of the two. And it did not take long in Game 2 for things to take a bad turn. And by not long, I mean... Two batters,
yeah.
So, leadoff was...
let me take this.
Sorry, Steve, who was the leadoff hitter?
Leadoff was our slugger center fielder, Joe Jablonski, not to be confused with not Joe Jablonski. Right.
You might see that account on Twitter. That is not him.
Totally different guy. Joe's our spunky center fielder who's 17 years old.
Yeah, right. Like I think he's fresh out of high school. Yeah,
filled with piss and vinegar.
He's in his early 20s. He loves to run. He's fast as hell. Mm-hmm. So we throw him in center field and we lead him off. And all he's done all season is hit and run.
Hit and make like ridiculous catches in center field. Well,
of course, until the doubleheader where he's been off for 3 weeks because of his throat, where he promptly misses 80% of the balls hit his way. But either way, he's a young kid. He's the one I work with that I mentioned that I've talked about. Mm-hmm. So he leads off, smacks a single or a double. I think it was a double.
Yeah, a double. He was on second base.
A double. So Steve, I moved you up to the 2-hole because we have had not even a bet because we both agreed. With 4 games left, we were taking wagers on if you were going to get over or under 6 1/2 hits in the last 4 games, because that was almost exactly the average of what you'd gotten the previous 8. So I moved you up to the second slot because I thought I'm going to get him an extra at bat if he needs it. So you're in the second slot. You go up there, you hit not a hard grounder, but it's not like a blooper off the mound either. It's a ground ball to the left side of the pitcher's mound. The pitcher starts to come off to try to field it, flails his arm, his right arm, his glove arm. I think it was his right. It was either
his glove or like the way I described it on the radio show, to me, out of the corner of my eye, it looked like when a goalie tries to make a kick save, like kicks his pad out to the side and also his glove. So it looked like it hit either his, like it bounced off his glove or it bounced off his foot. And again, ground ball.
He was trying to make a play.
Yeah,
he was trying to make a play.
I think it bounced one time before it got to. It definitely bounced, but it bounced at least one time before it got to him.
I actually made the comment on the bench that if he had not tried to field it, it was headed straight for the shortstop or third baseman or the second, whatever. They would have had a better chance to field it if he had not tried to get it himself.
Yeah.
So you trot down to first base on a single. You get there.
Yeah, I actually, because I didn't, after I hit it and took like 2 steps out of the batter's box, I assume I'm waiting, like I see the first baseman go over. He's got his foot on the bag. He's got his glove out. I'm waiting to see the ball hit his glove. Well, it never does. I run through the bag. I'm like, sweet. Don't know what happened, but all right. I'm on first. Got a single. Joe advanced from second to third.
Yeah.
So I'm standing there, and I forget who was coaching first, but I'm just like making small talk like, hey, look at that. Leading, I already got a single. All right.
Yeah.
And I hear, I look at their first baseman because I don't know. I talk to people.
Well,
like when we're playing.
You're inches away from the guy.
Sure.
For the most part, there's idle chit-chat among most players on the field to pass the time.
Yeah. Whenever somebody's standing on second, I like if they're there because they had a nice hit. Hey, man, nice hit. Yeah. You know? Nice whatever. Yeah. Oh, you guys are kicking our ass, man. This sucks.
Yeah.
Just chat with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a chatty patty when I'm out in the field, apparently.
Which is, again, we've talked about this. That's why we're here.
Mm-hmm.
We're here to have fun. Our record indicates that. I tried to, going in, it's the first year for a team mostly in our 30s. I'm here to hang out with a group of guys, have fun, maybe go get a drink a few games afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
That's it, right?
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting anything.
So he makes eye contact with me, and under his breath, he says, "It's open season on your pitcher the rest of the game."
Oh.
I just kind of laugh. I'm like, wait, what? Do you mean like you're serious about that? Really? And he just kind of looks at me and goes, "Yeah." Okay.
Now, when you say the first baseman, it's important to say he was wearing a hat, but I think it's very safe to say he was in at least his 40s.
Oh,
he had a full white goatee, right?
Yeah, gray hair,
white goatee. So this is beyond a grown man. I mean, this is a man who, if he is, probably
like,
has a family.
I feel like I'm 36 years old, and I feel like I'm a grown man. But I look at him, I'm like, he's a grown man.
Right. Middle-aged man. Like, presumably has wife, whatever, children maybe.
Yeah.
All of the whole shebang, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know about this. The inning ends. You come right up to me and you say, hey.
Well, yeah, because I'm like, this is how stupid I am about, like, sports. I'm like, well, I guess I'm assuming that's negative, right? Like,
right.
Open season, because that's how I took it. So and I said to him, I was like, why? And then the only thing I can assume is it because I hit the ball because he wanted an eye for an eye. I took out their pitcher.
Which, by the way, again, accurately described, did not take out the pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
Pitcher tried to make a play on a ground ball.
Yeah.
Right? So you come off the field, you tell me, and I think you went over to tell Chris, too. Yeah, because I was trying to tell Chris, and he was already booking
Chris
it out
was already,
to the field.
Yeah, Chris was already on his way out to the field, so I walked out there. And I'll always talk to him at the beginning of the inning, and I walked up, as we're both kind of walked out onto the field together, and I said, hey, man, just so you know, their first baseman said to me that it's open season on our pitcher all game long.
Yeah.
Well, Chris looks over at their bench, and the guy's looking right at us. Yeah, keep talking. Yeah, keep talking.
See, I didn't see that. So what I saw, and to reenact safely, I'll be Chris to the umpire. You be the guy, right? So I'm Chris. I just hear that from you. I turn to the pitcher, and I go, just so you know, he just called me out. Like, he just did, just so you know, just so you're aware of what happens. Mm-hmm. And within 1 second, what does that guy from off the bench say? Did you hear him?
No, I don't think it
did. Right off before Chris even finished saying that, it was a joke. I was just joking. He already knew.
So he already denied it but then confirmed that he said it.
Yeah.
But did the whole, it's a joke.
And I'm getting all fired up again because I'm the guy who years ago cared too much about softball. And even then, I would never in a million years say anything like that.
Yeah.
Take away the idea that we're in the second tier in a suburb of a major city, right?
Yeah.
So we're in the non-competitive league. First year we've ever played together, guys in our 30s. This guy knows our record. At that point, we're 3-8. If we could pick where we wanted to hit, wouldn't we have been doing it for those 8 games we lost?
Part of me was flattered that he thought that I had that ability.
Right.
I don't know if anyone on our team has that ability. I would say definitely people on their team did.
I think there's a couple of ours that have an idea of where they want to put it. And those guys, I mean, Chris batted 720 this year, or Joe batted almost 800. Those are guys who know where the ball's going to go when it comes off their bat, right?
There was one time this year where I thought to myself, I saw that their right fielder was playing way over towards center.
Yeah.
And I thought, I want to hit it that way.
Yeah.
And I hit it down the line and it went foul, but I was still happy because I was like,
that's the direction. I got it.
That's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Sure, it was a foul ball.
Yep. So this all takes place. And in hindsight, what I should have done is just gone right to the umpire and said, hey, I was just told these exact words were said, because we found out after the game when we told the umpire this. Well, if you'd told me that, he'd have been gone right away. Now, I don't know if that's true, because at that point,
he said if I had heard it, he would have been gone right away.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I thought, okay. Because at that point, it turns into a he said. No, sure. I didn't. And you're a mid-40-year-old man.
Yeah, prove it.
Yeah. So this is a guy, he starts yelling from the bench, like you said, keep talking.
Well, that's the thing. If he hadn't said anything to me, if we had no interaction at first base, then why was he like chipping away at me and Chris when we were standing there on the mound?
Because he now knows.
Right. He knows because he watched me. He watched me say something. Chris looked over at him. That's when he's like, oh, crap, I've been found out. So he says, like, if he wanted to be good about it, he would have ignored us the rest of the game. Never looked at us one time.
And just do what you think you're going to do. Yeah. If you're going to try to hit the pitcher, do it, because at that point, we won't be any the wiser unless it happens like 6 times, right?
Yeah.
Like, we've talked about on this podcast the times where we've had suspicions that somebody is being reckless or trying to hurt somebody, and oddly enough, it's been Chris like every single time.
Yeah.
He's the one who took the ball off the back of the neck when there was no second baseman to catch. He's the one who's taken a few shots off his feet and legs anyway.
Yeah.
So fast forward, second game of doubleheader, we're getting annihilated. We're down 14-3, and I remember that. It's the 5th inning, I think, 4th inning, and Chris is pitching, and they're up to bat. Guy comes up, and it wasn't the same guy, needs to be said, and hits a rocket right up the gut, and in one of the most sickening noises I've heard, right off of Chris's leg. Shin
right
area?
Shin, yeah.
Like it
where there's nothing.
Like that
there's
skin.
It's
skin
thud. Bone.
Yeah. So you hear this sickening thud. Ball rolls off his leg forward. Chris, I would have done the exact same thing. I was already walking out there to say, hey, come on, go take it. We've got 2 extra guys. Figure it out. We're down 11. We're just trying to get home at this point, right? Come out there. I couldn't even get out there. He's already, I'm done. I'm out of here. If they're going to be doing this, I'm done. Walks right out, grabs his stuff. He hit the road.
Yeah.
And I'd have done the same thing at that point. But honestly, it's probably better. Because if he had seen what happened after, I wonder if he would have been spurred to stick around. So I find out after. Chris is the first one. He's gone. He's off the field. He's gone. Chris had said, now this first baseman was still, quote, talking S to him as he walked off. Guy just got hit.
Right.
Like hurt. Well, I've seen the aftermath photos. This is no joke.
It's brutal.
It's gross. So I don't even know how it starts. All I know is I see you from second base pointing towards this guy at the bench. So my gaze turns to this guy at the bench, and I see what I can only describe what looks to me like a grown man hiding behind a light pole. So there's a massive light pole, and he's hiding behind it. His body is, and all I see is his 2 arms outstretched.
He looked like a scarecrow.
Yeah.
Because I didn't say anything. I walked into the mound, because everyone kind of gathered right at the mound. And I looked over at him, and I just looked at him for a minute, and then he started doing it again. What? What are you looking at? What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Oh, my God.
And I just said to him, it got real quiet, and I just said, seriously, man, you're a grown man.
Yeah.
You're a grown-ass man, and you are taking slow pitch, men's league slow pitch softball
Tier 2.
so seriously to the fact that you called out our pitcher and said that you were going to injure him, and now you did. I didn't say anything. So I was like, you're going to tell me that you didn't say that to me? No.
Oh, it's
No.
deny till you die.
Yeah.
Like he got caught. He broke a vase when he's 6.
Yeah. And if you didn't...
who came in the house and did it, little Jimmy? I don't know.
Well, again,
I didn't do it.
again, to go back to the when we first took the field after our interaction, if you didn't say anything, then what was that argument about? Like, we didn't look over at you and yell to you, hey, did you just say... Like,
Yeah.
You saw that we were talking about you. You knew what it was
you
about.
acknowledged it.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. So
Yeah.
to the point where it was I was coming onto the field. Rusty came in from left field because he told us after the game. He goes, "Yeah, I saw some people congregate, and I thought I better get in there."
Rusty was ready, man.
Yeah. Well, not only Rusty, I feel like we should. Well, no, he wasn't there for it. Listener Jake, who showed up again to help the team last week, Jake told me after the game man, I was ready to rumble. Like, can you imagine if it came to a slow pitch softball rumble?
Yeah.
Well, what should have happened is we were down 11, and if he had asked me, I'd have said I'm totally fine with it. The game should have been called.
Yeah, it should have been.
It should have been.
But I mean,
and in hindsight, I should have said, "Hey, everybody, off the field."
Mm-hmm.
We have no. I already knew. I had that penned in as an L anyway.
Yeah.
Because second half of doubleheader, we're not cut out for that, right?
Yeah.
So we finish it out. We end up losing. I can't believe the team went through the handshake line. I wouldn't.
Me either.
I didn't.
And the fact that nothing was said either.
Right. Well,
I shook that guy's hand.
Oh, I see. Years when I used to play, like if I would go through the handshake line after, I would have noticed a few things on the other team, like, oh, look, that guy, and I would like avoid.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'd be like, yeah, good game. That I'd put it down for a half a second. So
Yeah.
I wanted him to notice, like, you're a piece of garbage for
Yeah.
doing what you've done.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I'll go out to the other team and say, hey, good game or whatever. But I had no interest. It's unlike anything I've ever experienced.
The thing that kills me is, like, I obviously didn't intend to injure anybody.
No.
And
yeah.
that being said, I don't think that one of their players intended to injure Chris either. The guy who hit the line drive at him, I don't think he meant to injure him.
Probably
but
not.
The fact that the seed was planted where you made it so we might think that.
Yeah, it's a bad look.
Yeah, exactly. All you're trying to do is instigate. That's all that guy does. That's all he was doing. He instigated, and he did it perfectly.
Yeah.
He said it where no one else heard it. So when I called him out on it, he can just be like, what are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Never happened. He did it perfectly. He got under my skin perfectly. It was a very good troll on his part.
Just imagine living that life, though.
I know.
Guy who takes that. I was a young kid, and I never took it that. Like I would get super mad about whatever, and I would never be to that point.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine being in your 40s or 50s and being that way and treating people that way, who are literally there in a recreational league tier 2.
He was like, do yourself a favor if you've never heard Jim Rome's infamous
Chris
softball
Everett.
guy.
Oh no, I haven't heard
softball
that.
guy rant. It's like an 8-minute long rant from this radio show. And he perfectly describes softball guy. This guy is softball guy to a T. He's got the date circled on his calendar. All week long, he bores his coworkers with, "Hey man, hitting 658 this year. Had three ribbies last night.
Yeah.
I got in some guy's face. He said this. I almost punched him."
I was going to hit him.
And the only reason people listen to him is because he probably has not a supervisor role, but he's like
middle management.
Yeah,
enough.
middle management. He has just enough authority over like 3 people where they're like, "Oh God."
What's funny though,
Tyler's talking about his stupid baseball thing again.
Right.
Do we have to listen to this? Yeah,
Please
we gotta
make
use
it
our
go
balls.
away.
Yeah.
What's funny is you mentioned Jim Rome doing that. Well, Jim Rome, when you said watch the clip, I thought you were talking about Jim Rome being that type of guy. Because the famous Jim Rome clip is Chris Everett.
Yeah.
Chris, that was the name,
It
right?
was Jim Everett.
Everett, that's right.
He was the football player, but Chris Everett
was
the female tennis player.
So the male football player says, Come on, Jim. Just stop calling
Yeah,
me.
This went on for a long time. Notoriously, Rome would call Jim. He would refer to Jim Everett as Chris.
Yep.
So Jim Everett finally comes on to Rome's show, his TV show
In studio.
Yeah, which was
that ESPN?
Was that Rome is Burning?
Had to have been ESPN way back then.
So and Chris Everett or Jim Everett calls him out right to his face. He goes, "I bet you won't say it again," right to my face.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Bet you I will, Chris."
And Jim jumps over,
like
grabs it. So like it's funny to hear Jim Rome be like, "Oh, can you believe this guy acting like this?" When Jim Rome is an antagonistic bully in a lot of cases, right?
Yeah.
But both those clips, well worth seeking out. If we find them and remember to, we'll link them in the show description. But
so now the interesting part is you informed the team, to my dismay, that we have another game tomorrow night. Is it definitely tomorrow night, by the way?
Yes, definitely tomorrow night, 6:15.
Game is tomorrow night. So if we win this game against a team that we've already beaten before,
correct,
we will then play the winner of a game between team XYZ and the team that we played last week.
And the team we played last week is the higher seed with, old man softball.
Right.
They are the higher seed, so if you presume they win. Now, granted, we are the much lower seed than this team we're playing, but we've beaten them once this year.
I think
the only loss we had was when I ruptured my Achilles, and it was our first game ever playing together.
I think what we do, hear me out, Coach. It's my idea. Say we win this game tomorrow night, and the team from last week wins their game. Say we show up to the game, we take the field, and then just before the first pitch, we say, we don't really feel like playing, and just leave. So that way the game wouldn't be called in advance. So
so they all have to go.
So they still have to make it.
Yeah.
They still have to show up.
You don't have to ask me twice. I think that's a great idea. You need to get it through the rest of the team. Because I propose, I don't know if you read those messages.
No.
Where when I realized that, I wrote to the group, here's my thoughts. If we win and that other team wins, we just don't show.
Mm-hmm.
Because why force that confrontation? I said, we've lost twice to them this year now for a combined total of 36 to 6. Personally, I don't want to go there to manage.
Well, I want to show up just so we can wish them luck in the big tournament that they're no doubt in.
But that's a better idea because you make them go.
Mm-hmm.
You make them go. Like I told you, I don't want to manage it. It's kind of fruitless. Now, granted, this would be the first time we played them on a full week's rest. We've played them on both of our double headers, but still, I don't
think rest has been the.
You're preaching to the choir. You're gonna have to get through to real estate agent Sims thinks we'll get them, gang. Listen, this isn't some upstart bunch of scrappy kids. Yeah. We're in our 30s.
Let's see who's gonna be on our side. Jake will be on our side because we'll tell him to be because he's a guest on this team.
My brother.
Oh, yeah, your brother.
Brother doesn't even want to be there as is.
No, not at all.
I think we could get a majority. But you're going to have let's just go out there and play. It'll be fun. It wasn't fun last time.
No.
I don't know why it would change
because
this.
I wouldn't lift the bat off my shoulder when I was up.
Don't want to hurt anybody.
No.
Don't want to hurt anybody.
I don't want to hit a screaming, dribbling ground ball.
That's still unreal. Right? Absolutely unreal. So now the discussion turns, Steve. There has been a concerted group effort as well as some individual efforts because you pronounced on the radio show Wednesday morning.
I did.
Well, you pronounced to me in a text Tuesday night.
Yeah.
And carried it to the public on Wednesday morning. Mm-hmm. The disheartening news. You said you're done. You said that took it away. You've ruined it for you. So I immediately enacted a group policy. We've got to get Steve on board.
You got a super PAC.
So
get together too.
So I had Chris, the person who was injured, try.
Yeah.
I had Rusty.
Did you hear how Chris tried?
No.
Way?
He just said, "Well, I gave it my shot."
No, he just said, he's like, "So I heard you're back in for softball."
Oh, nice! Dual reverse psychology.
And I was like, "Wait, what?" He's like, "Yeah, Rusty said you were."
So we had Chris try, and then we actually had Rusty go to a station event.
Yeah.
And he came away from the station event. Steve, I don't have any updates since then. He came away from the station event, said, I think he's more inclined to play fall ball now than he was before. Now, let me give you the one last sales pitch. And now, anybody listening to this podcast, if you're still somehow tuned in after the silverware talk and now this, I need your help getting Steve back on the softball team for fall ball going forward. Now, the pitch I have is before the season even started.
Money. You're going to pay me?
We're going to pay. We have an envelope, and what's in it? You only get to find out if you promise to play. Now, before the season, we were late to join, essentially late to get all of the money together and everything. So when I went to register with the area we wanted to play, I actually showed up to the building, dropped out, we're all full. So this was our second option because we literally did not want to play in the city because Robert and I, my brother, have had nothing but issues in years past, right?
Okay.
So we were forced into this because without it, hey, Kyle, remember 8,000 messages you've sent trying to get this team together? Oh, for nothing, you're not going to play. So we are now back in the area we want to be. So it's a nicer
Back
township.
in the good graces.
Now what they have, again, this is a total side note, but like compared to just Mr. Umpire calling balls and strikes the way he thinks, this area has a rubber mat behind the plate, and if it doesn't land on that mat, it's not a strike.
Okay.
So it's much more, one, it's all in one place. Two, it's a different area. Three, never had any issues at this place.
Okay.
So what did Rusty say to you at the station event?
Yeah.
Because he seemed pretty confident.
Yeah, we had an event last week. It was called the Loser Home Run Derby, where we qualified a few listeners to come out to the minor league ballpark here in town before their game last Thursday. Those of us from the show and those listeners got to go out on the field. There were 4 qualifiers.
He was one of 4?
He was one of 4, yeah.
Oh, I thought it was much more.
No, I'm sorry.
broad.
I'm sorry. I think there might have been 5.
Okay.
I think he was one of 5 qualifiers.
Wow, I thought there was many more.
No, because we had a limited amount of time, so it was like
30 minutes.
Each person gets 10 pitches, and it was moving. It was quick. It was like you were at the batting cages, and the ball just kept dropping into the machine.
It's in a machine.
Exactly, because it's minor league, but they have a schedule. They got to keep it.
Well, yeah,
to
the
minute.
game has to start. The
Sure.
Peoria River Buns don't care if Rusty, the power juice drinking goon, wants to hit a few more into the outfield.
Yeah, look, bloodshot eyeball races have to take place after the first inning, and if we push this back, it's going to be a problem.
Where else are fans? If you push back a half an inning, 2 children throwing hamburger toppings on each other.
Yeah.
Where else are you going to get that entertainment?
What are you going to tell the 3 kids that were supposed to be in the washer, the dryer, and the water heater race?
Yeah. You can't just crush dreams like that because one guy wants to show up with a Powerade bottle of vodka and smack some baseballs.
So first of all, I get to the park, and the first thing, Rusty's one of the first people I see, but I didn't recognize him because he had sleeves on. He's the one who, back in, April, when the season started, had his sleeves cut off when it was still those first couple games were cold.
Well, yeah, but then for 5 weeks he put on long sleeve tees underneath, Under Armour.
Yeah.
But so Rusty had to actually put on human clothes.
Yeah, he had to dress presentable.
Now, was his lovely other half with him and his
She
children?
was, yeah. And
okay.
his beautiful children were with him, which was cool because they got to come down on the field and everything. And
neat.
You could tell that they definitely got a kick out of it. But before we went on the field, he comes up, he goes, "You a betting man?" And I'm like, I don't know, it depends if I think I can win, because if not, then no. He goes, "How about this? If I hit more home runs than you, you're playing fall ball." I'm like, you had 3 home runs
he actually
in the
hit
last
home
game
runs this year. Yeah.
I'm 19 for 40 with 19 singles.
Yeah, we did the math. You would have had to go 40 for 40 to match what our leading batter had.
Yeah. So I said, no, I'm not going to take that bet because you're going to hit more home runs than me.
Yeah, well, he should have come to you and spotted you.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll give you 3. You don't know a normal number, but I'll give you 3 if I can, handicap you.
Because we each got 10 pitches. They set up a snow fence, like a temporary outfield fence that was, I think it was roughly 225 feet maybe. because they had it. It was obviously in the outfield. It looked like it was at least 100, maybe 145, 150 feet past the bases. The bases are 9 feet. So I think Rusty was the first. I think he was the first one to bat for our team.
Yeah, and
he hit a couple. He hit a couple out, and I hit one.
Did you really? You got a hold of one,
yeah,
huh?
But man, when I say it cleared by 6 inches,
being generous,
it looked like it was a pop up, and it came down, and like just at the last second, a nice gust of wind went. And it just
carried it,
like it just barely landed on the other side, of it. And I was happy with that. But then afterwards, like, so I won. You're playing. I'm like, no, I never took the bet, man. That was a stupid.
But
bet.
Rusty won the whole event. He told me.
Did he?
He said he won because I know you don't keep up with the group message. Here's the other.
He may have.
Here's the other enticing offer, Steve, to bring you back on board. Is we're going to have a team softball gathering at a suite because he won, and that's what he won.
Well, he won.
He said he won a suite to an upcoming game.
Yeah, with him and 3 other people.
I feel like it's. He didn't say that, but I figure we can cram 10 to 12 in there, right?
Because the 3 people on my team collectively get to use that suite.
Oh, well, that's not fair.
Yeah, the suite holds, and it's like next April or May.
It's next year?
Yeah.
God, he left out so many details.
Boy, he didn't get any of this right, did he?
I negotiated a team outing at the suite, and he neglected to tell me this nonsense.
Yeah, 9 months from now.
Okay, so the team softball suite outing is happening. We're going to make that whole thing work again. So, we have a tournament game tomorrow. You'll hear about that next week, about whether we have the big semifinal game or otherwise the summer season has come to a very sad, unsatisfying conclusion.
What time's our game tomorrow?
6:15, early.
I guess I'll finish out the year at least.
Well, I would hope you'd show up tomorrow.
Well, I was told that last week was the last week.
And I literally got an email Wednesday morning saying, hey, tournament schedule, and then they mailed me one for good measure.
Oh, good. Yeah, mail.
Thanks.
People use that.
So I got an email. That's the first I'd found out. I couldn't find anything on their website about it. So you tell me what we need to do to get you back on board for fall ball.
All right, I'm in. I'm back in. I'm back in.
Hashtag Steve 4 fall ball. That's the number 4 on social media. That's your second call to action this week.
Here's what you have to do. Yeah. Do not tell anyone on the team.
Okay.
Because I want to see how many of our friends listen to this podcast.
We're going to be so sad.
No one's going to say anything.
It's not even going to be my brother, and I'm going to be super heartbroken. I think Rusty listens. My brother.
Chris does.
Chris
listens.
I think Joe might listen. I think Joe might lie. Joe has told me before, like, I listened to the first 10 minutes, but your voice sucks, so I turned it off. I
think Joe seems like the guy who would listen to see if we talk about him.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah, Joe, you look real good this week. And then he, brightens up his day, right? Joe might listen. That might be it.
Yeah. Yeah, no one else.
But if you hear this, because there might be a few people might listen before our game tomorrow. Do not let the rest of the team know. No. This is going to drag out. I want this to be a saga up until the day before the first game, and I'll send a message with the lineup like I normally do, and your name's going to be triumphantly there in the same spot. And it's going, yeah,
we got him,
guys.
Never has more of a concerted effort been made to get so little.
It's a warm body situation for me. But yeah, so I think we're all paid up, I think we're all good to go. So fall ball, which is 6 games.
Just so you know, I might go back on this at some point.
That's fair. You said in the podcast, so it's not like written in stone or anything.
No, I am in charge of uploading this, so I can edit it out.
Right? Yeah, I find a logical chop point. Hang on. Good joke, guys. Well, as usual, Steve, I'm looking at the time, and we can't lie anymore. This happens literally every week.
Yeah.
Now, on this list, we have at least a dozen things. We've gotten to 1, softball's 1. House hunting, 2.
Yeah, we talked about
2.
We talked about. Yeah, 2.
Yeah, I lumped your whole house hunting thing into 1.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's different topics, but
yeah.
So yeah, 2. But it would behoove us to not very briefly mention at least the Boston trip, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
Happening this Saturday. And depending on when you're listening to this comes out obviously Tuesday, July 18. Saturday, July 22nd, the Steve and Kyle Podcast World Tour, bringing us to the great city of Boston. City on a Hill, I think is what it's called. I think I said that last week, too.
Boston, they call it.
Boston.
Boston.
A lot of what's crazy to me is, by my brief count, we have 6 to 8 people coming to see us. How crazy is that?
And it's not like they're all traveling there, too.
Yeah, there's
one.
like one or two in Boston.
Is it
one
Sean?
at least. Sean and maybe Zach both live in Boston or are very close, seem to have a knowledge of the city anyway.
Yeah.
So Saturday, July 22nd, Steve and myself will be in the great city of Boston.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's how they say it there.
We will be visiting both Cheers bars. That is essentially all we have on the itinerary right now.
Don't forget Logan Airport.
Logan Airport, we're going to be visiting. Scenic, I hear.
I think we're going to hopefully get to Fenway.
Going to try to do Fenway. That would be neat to see that, even if it's a tour, walk through that. That'd be cool to see if we can go up in the Green Monster.
I'm sure they'll let us switch the numbers around on the scoreboard.
Yeah. Maybe get over the PA.
Yeah.
Listen to the Steve and Kyle podcast.
Podcast.
I know I had mentioned before the L Street Tavern. I would like to maybe see if we have time. Again, this is all time contingent. And then I think it's the Boston Public Garden where it has the bench from Good Will Hunting as well. Those are all on a maybe list, right? So again, the details are as follows. 12 noon-ish. We will be at Cheers in Beacon Hill until to be determined, until we go to the other Cheers, which is, from what I understand, is in Faneuil Hall.
Yes. Yeah.
Faneuil Hall Cheers. And I almost feel like, I know this is on the fly and late in the game, but I almost feel like switching those two, because from what I hear, what we've heard through the internet, Steve, is that the Cheers on Beacon Hill is small and might be difficult to get in with a group of 10 of us.
I have an email from Eric Granke.
Okay.
He said, gave us a bunch of, let's see, he said, I've lived in Southwest Michigan my entire life, but grew up a Celtics fan. So he ended up going to Boston, it looks like maybe a couple of years ago. Took a trip there, was there for an entire week. Gave us a bunch of advice on don't get a rental car, get a cab, take this.
Which again, thank you to everybody who's offered to drive us around and info on that. Very much appreciated. We are all set. We are going to we'll just Uber around because again, I don't want to even remotely feel like we're imposing on somebody if you and I get a whim on we want to go do this or go see this or try this. And again, no disrespect, but there might be a point where Steve and I go, hey, let's just go get away for a little bit so we can recoup.
So he said, this is from Eric, he said, the original Cheers bar is very small. Be prepared to wait for a while for a table, especially if you're going on a Saturday.
It's early, though, too.
It's a tourist trap, and we delighted in its corniness. The downstairs is the bar and food, good food, reasonably priced. Its decor is like you are in Cheers. The upstairs is mocked up with the replica bar set from the TV show that you can take pictures at. It's not always open to the public, but I'm guessing your visit being a Saturday afternoon in the summer, that won't be an issue. Okay. Then he says, our hotel staff discouraged us from wasting our time at the other Cheers bar.
Really?
Their words, that was built to trap tourists before the original was remodeled to look like Cheers.
Because that's the last I had heard is that, so the exterior of Cheers on Beacon Hill is what you see on the exterior from the television program, but inside, nothing like it, right? So they just got the idea from that bar, the show.
Oh, man, you were talking over just a solid one.
I'm trying to add to the March Madness tournament, and I can't eat, and I'm stepping on them. I tried to pull one 2 weeks ago, and I couldn't yank it because I talked on it. I just got to shut up.
It's all right.
But then I heard they built the one on Faneuil Hall to replicate the television show.
So the one looks like it from the outside, the other looks like it from the inside, but neither of them are both inside and outside.
Correct. So I didn't even know that the one on Beacon Hill had built a replica upstairs. So my only issue with not going to Faneuil Hall is going to be space. That's why I was thinking on the fly, do we switch and do we go to that one if we have a group because it's bigger?
Yeah.
Or do we stick with Beacon?
How are we going to work that? Say we get there and
it's busy.
And people are in tow. Mm-hmm. And they got room for 2 people at a table.
Well, you and I are sitting.
Do we say,
no?
well, guys, thanks for meeting up with us.
I don't know if this is a call-ahead place. I wonder if we could call maybe Friday and say, hey, what's the best way to go about it? We have this group coming in tomorrow. It's going to be around noon. What do you think? And odds are it's so small they're not going to have a call-ahead because they don't need it. People are going to be in there no matter what, right? So I would argue let's keep it the way it is. Cheers, Beacon Hill, 12 noonish. Plan on that. And if need be, if we get there and it is jam-packed, which hopefully early in the day it's not, we adjust on the fly and we go to Cheers, Faneuil Hall. Is that fair?
Okay. Yeah.
Because from what I understand,
to be honest,
and again, I don't know. From what I understand is it's blocks away. We could hypothetically walk there. At worst, it's a quarter of a mile or whatever in a cab. Or an Uber.
Maybe, why don't we get some Heelys?
Don't you tempt me. I'll roll around that city.
Just skate there.
You won't see me again if you get me some Heelys. So
also worth mentioning, thank you to Sean. I'm not sure what Sean M. He's like our own personal travel agent for this whole thing. It's gotten to the point where he's like, do you think you'll be looking for dinner? Do you like seafood? Do you like oysters? I can recommend this place. He's making us like a Google map. Sean, if you're, I know that you're listening to this, just pick out a place, pick out one or two places that you know have decent food and stick them on that Google map.
Yeah, I'm not a seafood guy. So I don't
I'm not
seafood there, but I'm not
other than I'm not going to do oysters. Definitely not going to do oysters. But he pointed out Fenway tours are only $20. Start every hour from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So we should be able to get a Fenway tour in. But yeah, man, this is like we're getting up at, first of all, do you drive stick?
Nope.
Okay, so we're taking your car.
Okay.
To the airport. But I already volunteered to drive the morning.
Yep.
The morning stretch. So either you're meeting me here or I'm meeting you at your house.
Again,
at
miles
what
away.
time?
Well, we should
our
leave
flights
no
at
later
7:30.
than 4. I would argue leaving around 3:45 is a safe idea.
Okay.
So we're going to be up in the 3 a.m. hour.
Yeah, so we're leaving. We are on the road at 3:45.
Yep.
When I say on the road, we are on the road. It's not leave the house at 3:45, stop at a gas station to gas up, get a cup of coffee.
I'll make sure we're gassed up.
We are on the road, and we are not stopping until we pull into the parking lot at the airport.
Yep.
Except if we get pulled over or something.
Right. So we're flying out of Detroit. We fly out at 7:30. Again, we're in Boston a little less than 12 hours. Realistically, less than that if you take into account the time we have to be back at the airport so we can get through their security and all that. But yeah, all we have planned is those 2 Cheers bars. That would more than honored anybody. Last call to join us. Please come and join us in Boston.
And again, we'll be like live tweeting or on Facebook also.
We'll do some periscopes.
Just doing keeping everybody updated. Maybe we'll do one of those little trackers where you can actually click on it and track us all around. So if you want to meet up, that would be great. But the big development in the last week. Now, originally we said we are getting on the plane with nothing in our hands.
Changed.
Now we have to have a bag in our hands. And it's not so we don't look shady with security, although that is kind of a part of it.
It does help.
The big news is that we'll be hauling along some garbage merch with us.
Garbage merch is coming to Boston, folks. So
you last week you ordered 25 or 50
pins, buttons, and 25 fridge magnets. And then I bought a sticker maker. And have been making some garbage merch at home. So we're going to bring all of this along, in addition to our very first Steve and Kyle podcast T-shirts.
First edition T-shirts.
Now these are, when we say exclusive, we mean exclusive. We have a handful of them. Everybody, if you're coming to visit us in Boston and you have not messaged me your shirt size, now that includes you, Sean. Well, it's a little late now. Sorry, Sean. You're getting one. We have shirts for everybody who's coming to visit us in Boston. Free of charge. You, for crying out loud, you're taking time out of your day to come visit us in Boston. We're going to have a handful left over that when we see how many.
Yeah, we don't really know what we're going to do with
We don't know how many we're going to have, but some way, shape, or form, you will have a chance to get your hands on one of these. These things are awesome.
I think at least one of them has to be for the person that won
already got her
March
size.
Madness. Oh, perfect.
Already got her size. It's
okay.
already on the list
Great.
to get her her name is Crystal, to get her package out at some point.
So she's getting she might be the only recipient of a Steve and Kyle podcast prize pack.
Yeah.
She's getting a T-shirt.
Yeah.
A
Whatever
button,
other garbage.
A magnet.
Yep.
And then
some stickers.
Oh, wait, did we win that thing on the remember the website that we went to?
We didn't win.
Oh. I think she was really looking forward to getting like 6,000 coffee stirrers or whatever it was.
Yeah, whatever we were buying in bulk.
Yeah, 10 Dixie plates.
But again, if you're coming to Boston and you have not given me a shirt size, please do so we know how many to bring. We'll have a few extras on hand in case something goes awry. But please do that. And then I'm not kidding you, and I might be biased. I think we both think these things are awesome. These shirts.
Oh yeah, I love
the design.
Well, you had designed them. It was Thursday night. I was sitting at the baseball game, and you sent me a text with a link to you designed them on. It was like Cafe Press or one of those sites where you can design your own merch. And I looked at it. I pulled it up on my phone, and Annette's looking over my shoulder. She's like, "Did you make T-shirts?" Like,
man,
yeah. No. I mean, yeah. No. And I showed him to her. She's like, they're pretty funny.
Right.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's did we talk about it on the podcast or was it after?
We talked about the design idea.
Did we talk about
that?
We
talked about it on the podcast,
okay.
But nothing was ever official.
Yeah.
If you listen back, it's pretty darn close to what we talked about.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, you nailed it because you designed it on that.
Yeah,
on
and
that
I
site,
didn't even
and I
know
look
where
at
to
it.
start.
I'm like, well, that's perfect.
Right.
So
there was only there's one change made from the design I made to what we have coming in hand this week for our travel come Saturday.
Yeah, because you had sent me that and it was like they wanted to charge like $26
right,
a shirt
and I get it
something.
because it's an online company.
It's low quality or not low quality, low quantity.
Yeah, and it's a company that I'm sure they're used to companies or people
ordering thousands, radio stations ordering 2,000 T-shirts,
and we're ordering low double digits.
Yeah,
right. So it wasn't in the cards to pay that price, and so I briefly bantered. Well, we could ask people to pay for them in advance, whatever, and we didn't want to do that.
And then it popped in my head. I'm like, wait a minute, I know a T-shirt guy. I have a T-shirt guy. This is somebody who's made T-shirts for the radio show before. If you have a 4 + 4 = math or a math + math = few shirt, it's Carl, our buddy Carl from the radio show. It's one of Joe's good friends. He has all the equipment like at his house. Like he does,
really?
Yeah, but he's not making these for us though. He's actually I sent him the idea. He came up with the official design, and he's sending it to somebody that he uses as a screen printer.
Okay. Yeah, they're coming back this week. We're going to have them in time for travel.
Yeah.
When should we post? When we get the official shirt? Presumably Thursday, maybe earlier. We will post the design online for everybody to see. But if you are interested, if you're not going to Boston, that's totally fine. We're just trying to gauge interest on how many of these we should order. If you are interested in buying one of these down the road, let us know in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah. Yeah,
so we know.
We don't really know what we're going to do with it, and we may just hold on to them.
Right,
and
they're kind of a keepsake for us personally. I think they're funny, they're unique.
Well, it'll be something funny if somebody gives us a funny review, or if we talk to somebody on 2 minutes of awkward conversation, and there's a funny interaction, we can send it out to them. But yeah, I mean, if you're interested in one, we'll post a picture of it, and we'll let you know how many we have or what size they are.
Like I said, they will be limited.
Yeah.
Outside of us going back to print, for lack of a better term, what we have in hand is what we're going to have because we don't want to get stuck with 3 million shirts that 20 people want.
Yeah.
That's coming up. That's so soon. Boy, oh boy, that's so soon.
So we leave bright and early Saturday morning. We get to Boston around 9 o'clock. We're in Boston for 12 hours. We get on a flight at 9 o'clock p.m., fly back here, land in Detroit.
11:59.
Yeah, just before midnight. And then we walk out to the car, hop in the car, and I fall asleep.
Yeah. Oh, God. Try to stay away for a little bit.
No, it's not going to happen. I'm telling you.
That bad, huh?
And I expect you to do the same thing on the way there.
I don't know if I will. I always struggle with that because I've had this mentality forever going across the state. It's about 2:30 to 2:45 time-wise, right? that
you can get to the airport in like 2:20.
Can you really? 2:10 sounds like a challenge.
Right.
That I always feel bad if everybody's asleep in the car and you force the driver.
Mm-mm.
Like I've had situations myself in the winter coming back from like a Pistons game. where
Don't do it, man.
I
Do
open
not
the
feel
window.
bad. Because I assure you, I will not feel bad on the way home.
Right.
And that's a time when I'm used to being awake then. Like
Okay.
I'm used to starting my day then.
Right, yeah, you're accustomed.
I'm going to be perfectly fine. I'm not used to driving that far in the
Right.
morning, but I'm used to being awake, so it's not going to be an issue.
Question for you: have you ever used like a 5-hour energy type thing?
I
You
never
ever taken
have.
one of those?
Actually, no. I've had them before, but I've
Do
never
they work?
I've never really I've never relied on them. Greg Freebeer he drinks one every day at the beginning of the show.
I'm kind of considering buying like a no-dose pill
Mm-hmm.
just to be extra safe, right? I think I'm going to be okay, but I also, in my mind, like, it's a very active day, a very tiring 12 hours
You're
you're there.
You're gonna be on an emotional high because
Right.
you're a podcasting superstar,
Right.
with droves of crowds coming to see
People
you.
following us around a foreign city. So
It's gonna be two people.
Two people.
We're gonna turn around and be like, "Hey guys,
yeah,
hey, so where do you want to go next?"
right. Now, I have a question I just thought of. Do you think it's a concern with those buttons to get through security?
Because
of the pins?
Boy, would that be a real bummer.
I'm not throwing them away. Boy, that's going to have
Can
to
you
be a
take-
Google thing. If anybody knows TSA-wise, if that's okay, these are just your regular, lack of a better term, pin buttons with, with the safety pin that you hook in behind the clasp or hook it through your clothes or whatever.
Yeah, we'll have to look it up and then print it out. If it says yes, we can take them through.
Yeah, because if it comes to a fight, like, hey, I paid for these, I'm not throwing them away and not going out to the car.
Well, they won't let you. I mean,
oh, you're already, yeah. Boy, oh boy.
Because, they'll let you go back to your car, or you go and put them in a locker or something. Do they still have lockers at airports? Can you do that?
Boy, maybe. There has to be, right? There has to be a way that you can rent a space to where it doesn't get, okay, right here, I've got a large pin collection. Does anybody know if I can take them? I don't want to see my collection thrown away at the airport. This is a tricky one. It may depend on the airline, so I think you need to ask them.
Yeah, of course. Why would there be hard and fast rules with
It doesn't depend on the airline anyway, because the airline's not going to take them away from us. Security is going to take them away from us.
If there's one thing the TSA is not, it is consistent. Because there have been plenty of times, you have to take your laptop out of the case. So I take my laptop out of the case. You didn't have to take that out of the case. Then why'd you tell me 10 minutes ago that I had to?
Yeah, so I had somebody say my boys used to wear trading pins on their caps. They just went in the trays through the x-ray machine along with other metal objects.
I could.
It sounds like most of the responses, it is comforting to hear other people have been fine doing this. It's not the airline that'll take them. I think you should be all right. Looks of it, it should be fine as long as the sharp part of the pins aren't any longer than 6 centimeters. Well, these are. How do you determine what's the sharp part and what's not the sharp part?
Well, plus it wouldn't be longer than the pin. It's only a 2-inch pin. It's not going to be a. I guess I don't know how long 6 centimeters is.
Well, this is something we're going to figure out.
Or we just leave an extra 20 minutes. So.
Well, we've got time too. Could I tweet at TSA?
Yes.
I think we should do that from the podcast account. Tweet at TSA. And say, hey, this is what we're bringing. Is this okay?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to stab a pilot. I want to give away garbage to 6 listeners.
Yeah. No,
They'll
you
understand.
can definitely tweet at TSA.
Yeah, we're going to have to do that then. Yeah. Boy, oh boy.
But yeah, man, that's coming up. Just a couple more days. A couple more days of work, and then we are hitting the road. Taking this thing on the road.
I've been hesitant to say anything because I want to see how this goes first. Not attendance-wise so much, but more time-wise, how we feel. But man, if we could make this once a year, twice a year, where we just pick, not Boston, pick a city.
These on a whim trick.
Yeah. Because I know we have a few people, listeners in Nashville. Can you imagine if we just fly down or drive down to Nashville for a day?
Yeah.
Walk around
that
the
would be cool.
main drag, do some podcasting, some periscoping.
That would be a trip. That's a 9-hour drive.
We'd fly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'd fly for that. I think we could make this a semi-annual thing, depending on how it goes. If we get home, we'll both go, Whew, never again.
Not doing that.
Which immediately I got to tell you, I might, because the
Yeah.
tiredness, everything. But when I look back on it, I'm probably going to have more fond memories than I am. Boy, I was so tired and this and that and that. It's such a whirlwind, though. I'm excited and I'm nervous as hell to get to do this Saturday. So,
that's right, because you're a bad flyer. I'm glad that we're not sitting near each other.
Well, we might. We might end
wait a
up being
minute.
seated. I think we both have to check in. Can we check in with this airline early? Like if I go on my phone?
24 hours.
So it's the same. Will they give me a seat assignment then, or am I just checked in?
That I'm not sure of.
Either way,
But,
there's a good
yeah,
chance we're
yeah.
not flying next to each other. And again, I'm mostly fine flying. I just hate landing. Ooh, I hate it.
That's all right. I actually had a dream the other night, woke up screaming because I was on a plane that was crashing.
Oh, no!
The flight attendant made an announcement in the calm flight attendant voice and said, "We are about to crash."
Well, if you'd
Oh,
like,
come on.
well, if you'd like some Steve and Kyle, very exclusive Steve and Kyle Boston trip T-shirts, please let us know, because this trip is canceled. There's not a chance in hell with that omen that I am going. Now, Now, this wasn't quite as overt, but I've been binge watching The Sopranos, and a main character, Chris, just got made, right?
Christopher Moltisanti.
Yeah, so in the mafia, you get made. You get your button,
Yep.
and you're officially like a member. You make more money. While he's getting made, there's a frickin' crow on the outside windowsill.
Yeah.
This is more blunt than that, telling us that we're going to die on this trip.
That'll be all right. Because this one, we were crashing into water.
Oh, okay.
There's
What's
no
that?
water.
Ontario we're going over?
There's no water between here and there, surely, right?
So,
I mean, there is that harbor, right?
hey guys,
Right, where
I'm
that
so
whole
excited for
Tea Party
softball
thing.
season. Can you imagine if something drastic or crazy happens in the first game? We're dead. I can't do this now.
Yeah.
I need a Xanax for the way there, and I need no dose or
And we
whatever.
are
it's called
flying
on
a
the way
budget
back.
airline, too.
Budget airline means budget airplanes.
Oh, yeah, budget airplanes, budget gas.
Drunk pilots.
Pilots? You think we get pilots?
It's the flight attendant. She's throwing water bottles over her shoulder and piloting.
There's a pilot there just to put it up to full throttle, and then he hops out the door.
Oh, my God. I'm so terrified now. I can't believe you had that dream.
Yeah.
Because you don't have a flight before ours on Saturday. So that's obviously an omen.
Yeah, I guess it could be. Well, if it wasn't this
I'm
flight, it would be
driving.
the next one.
I'm driving. I'll leave Friday. Meet you at the airport.
Pick me up at Logan.
Right. Well, boy, what do we want to get into the Fast Five, or did you want to get into something else? I think it would be funny to mention we had a little off there Steve and Kyle podcast family gathering this past weekend.
Yeah, the whole family, all four of us got together.
All four of the clan minus the dogs.
We didn't invite the interns, of course.
Well, the research staff's hard at work getting us info for this Boston trip.
Yep.
Making sure everything's running smooth. Well, yeah, Enrico let the mixer kind of crap the bed on us. So, no, we got together. There's a movie I texted you more than a week ago about it, because there's this movie that's been in like independent, so opens in 4 theaters, then 100 that I've been tracking because
Didn't it premiere at one of the film festivals?
One of the big
Sundance
festivals,
or
yeah.
whatever,
And the reviews were coming in fantastic for it, and the trailer, everything about it made it seem like it was supposed to be one of the best. Technically, it's a romantic comedy in years.
Rom-com.
So I'm a rom-com
Do we have to
fan.
play?
Spoiler alert. I don't think we're going to talk about the movie, are we?
No.
No,
Just want to make sure. Just want to play it.
It's always safe. Always safe to have that on hand. So I wanted to go see The Big Sick. So I sent you the trailer. Said, hey, I want to go see this next weekend when it opens. Let me know if you and Annette want to come along. I know you're a movie buff, Steve.
Oh yeah, movies there all the time. Right. You know me.
So I followed up with you on Wednesday. He said, yeah, sure. Well, let's go see it. We figured out I bought tickets. So we go Saturday. We show up Saturday. You go, oh God. First thing out of your mouth. I don't know if I'm going to make it.
I said if I make it through this movie,
And I was
it's
like,
a miracle.
oh boy, here we go. And then, but you tell me you're at an open house. You did something in the morning. Then you had an appearance for a few hours out in the sun.
Yeah,
and then
granted,
you came to the movie.
Appearance. I mean, it was we were at a beer fest for like 3 hours.
Right.
So it was great.
But you're still out in the sun.
You're out in the sun and you're drinking. So it's just like, as soon as we got, as soon as I sat down, I'm just like, all I want to do is just fall asleep. Had a little bit of a buzz going when we left the beer fest, but yeah, we made it, got to the movie, and got all of our snacks. Went there and sit down. Great movie.
Oh, it's tremendous. I loved it.
Thought it was
I
a
look
really
back
good...
on it, and I like part of me wants to see it again for a lot of the little things that I may have glossed over, type of deal. But tremendous movie.
Yeah, and I made it.
I'm keeping an eye. Like I'm not the kind of guy. I'm not going to wake you. Hey.
Yeah.
Like, whatever. If it happens, it happens.
I had no issues whatsoever.
Right. You were awake. Whenever I glance over, I'd hear you laughing. I'd hear you checking in with Annette.
At one point, at no point was there even like a head nod.
Okay.
Or like, oh.
So you never got to that point that you were afraid of.
No, but I was doing exactly what you were doing to me. I was doing to Annette. I was looking over there
checking.
like every 2 minutes, especially the later in the movie that we got, because...
So it was a later movie. I mean, it was an 8:30 start, and it was a 2-hour movie. So we're in the 10 o'clock hour, so you've had... it's already been a long day.
Yeah.
Right now you're in a dark, warm theater.
By the time I hit like 8 o'clock, my body's like, all right, almost time for bed.
Shut
no
it down.
matter what day of the week it is.
Yeah.
So I keep looking over at Annette because love her to death, but Annette is notorious for falling asleep during movies. I can't tell you how many times we've said, let's just stay in and watch a movie tonight. And like 5 minutes in, she is just out.
Oh.
She'll be awake for the opening sequence,
right,
and then she'll fall asleep for 90 minutes, and then a lot of times she'll wake up for like the final scene.
Oh no!
So it's either that or she'll make it 95% of the way through the movie and fall asleep at the last 5 minutes.
So we watched the movie, like I said. We all stand up right when it's over, and I'm like, "Yeah, you made good job," and you're laughing. And I go, oh, no. I say, well, I made it. I thought, what? And then that's like 3 feet behind you, and her head's kind of down.
Yeah,
you're
she's like wiping the sleepies out of her eyes.
Yeah, she didn't. She missed the end.
Yeah.
Oh.
I felt so bad because I was doing really good. I was looking over, like I said, once we got to like halfway through the movie, I'd glance over
She's alert.
every 2 minutes or so. And it honestly, I think it was like if we had gotten a bigger thing of popcorn, I think she would have been fine. Because, like, if you're sitting there,
digging in.
Yeah, if you got something to like, if your hands are moving around or like you're doing something, you have something to focus on.
Yeah,
especially popcorn because it's delicious. Everyone loves it, and you just want to keep eating it.
Yeah, that's why I told you I think I might need to stop at McDonald's and get like the large soda of all time, because as long as I'm moving and something to keep me occupied, it does help.
Mm-hmm. So I look over at one point, and I know that the movie, like, just based on context, you can tell that
it's coming to a close.
It's reaching the climactic scene, and you know what's going to happen. And I look over, and I just see her head's back, mouth open a little bit, and I'm like, no! So I nudge her, and she's like, huh? Oh. I felt so bad because she was like, oh, I fell asleep. Like, she had tried so hard.
Right, because, I mean, the movie, it's a romantic comedy, so that for the most part, they all have a formula. But this was a topsy-turvy type of movie, when and there's a few moments in the last half hour where if you don't know the story, you really don't know what's going to happen. And that's the thing,
right? I didn't know the story. Okay. I knew that the movie was loosely based on real-life events, but I didn't know that it was loosely based on the actor who was in the movie. I thought that it was like, oh, this was someone else's story that
he's just portraying.
Yeah, exactly. I had no idea until the first scene when they refer to him by his real name, and I'm like, wait, wait, is he playing a guy named him?
And his wife wrote it.
Okay, yeah.
See, so they were all in. I mean, this is their big pet project that's taking off. So, so there's a few moments in those last minutes where you're wondering, like, well, it could go this way, it could go that way if you don't know the tale. Mm-hmm. And poor Annette misses those last few high water marks.
Yeah, because I look over. I woke her up at the one point, and then
did she see the last comedy club scene, the very last scene?
No,
she missed that one.
Yeah, because no more than a minute later, I look over, and that scene is just wrapping up, and her eyes are closed again.
Because that was the last scene where it like ties it all together and ends it.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's a bummer, right?
So then
I feel bad. I
felt terrible because she, like, nobody's more disappointed than she is about the whole thing.
You sat through an hour and 50.
Yeah, you did the hard work.
Yes,
like
you
put
10.
you put in the work, and now it's like, I guess I could look it up online and watch the last 10 minutes of it. But So we're walking out to the parking lot, and I'm like, all right, what's the last part you saw? She's like, well, I remember the hospital when they were blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, well, then this happened.
Yeah.
She's like, okay, no, I remember that.
So it was like flashes, right?
Yeah, so we're connecting the dots, and then I tell her, like, what finally happened. She's like, oh, okay.
Oh, man. What a bummer.
Yeah.
And to be fair, normally I wouldn't be going to a show that late either. I just always prefer a couple hours earlier. When
you first asked us if we wanted to go, I think there was the option of like
6:45
or something. And I said, I was like, man, I would love to go to that one, but I just know it's not going to work.
Well, you'd have to run from the event to the
In hindsight,
theater.
it would have never worked because we didn't. I had to be there from 4 to 6. We ended up staying till almost 7:30.
Oh, you did? Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then by the time, so we basically got to the house, let the dog out, fed the pets, and then, hit the road.
Okay, I got you. So, yeah, that was funny. We try to get an outing. I mean, I know we're not riding a bike to ice cream, but if you try to keep her awake next time, that'd be great. Yeah, well, I found out a piece of info afterwards. So this is the first movie you've been to this year. Is that what she mentioned? I think that's what Annette mentioned to me after. She said, quote, we haven't gone this year.
Well, we definitely, I don't think we have.
Oh, okay.
I may, because there are some very rare occasions, like maybe 3 times in the last couple of years, where there's been a movie that I've wanted to see that she has no interest in. Like, what was the latest Rocky one? Was it Creed?
Creed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, she had no desire to go see
She
Creed.
missed out on it.
Oh, she did.
Emotional cry fest.
She definitely did. So I went to see Creed. There were a couple other movies that I went to see. But yeah, that might be the first time we've gone to a movie this year.
So I find out after the fact, you've got this magic pass like at Disneyland where it puts you on whatever car you want on any ride you want
like
anytime you want.
Skip the line. But in hindsight, it wouldn't have worked for that movie.
Oh, is it only
it's not good, not valid opening weekends.
Okay, I gotcha.
Because
I am like...
It can be, but it's like it basically says that it's up to the discretion of the theater.
So if it's a sellout,
so if it's close to being sold out, I
do
probably wouldn't have been able to use it.
Right, man. Because here I've seen 4 this week. You're holding out on me,
well,
Steve.
What do you want to go see tomorrow?
I actually think I'm going to see Spider-Man again.
Do I have to know the other Spider-Mans?
No. I mean, it might not be the greatest for you because it does tie into the Avenger, like the Marvel storyline. But they briefly replay his first appearance, which was in the last Captain America movie.
Okay.
They replay that, and then they just jump. It's not an origin story, so they just jump right into this kid being Spider-Man in the middle of high school.
Okay. Are there any good movies that I'd want to see?
Here we go.
Is this the point of the week where you almost walk out?
Look at the clock, Steve. Maybe time to get to the Fast 5. Oh, look at that. Fast 5's Fast 0. I'm done today. I meant to look if there was anything else even out that I haven't seen or that I would be willing to see again that has me curious, and I do not know. Take a pot shot at him.
Yeah.
It's highly reviewed. It's
Find
like the
something.
highest reviewed superhero movie in years, for crying out loud. And you take a pot shot. I got the guy's tattoo on my arm.
Take a big dump all over it.
Have you seen either of the first 2 Planet of the Apes films?
No.
Well, I've seen 1, not the 2, so we'd be in the same boat heading into number 3.
Going on to 3? We can do that.
That wouldn't make a lot of sense to either. From what I hear, Steve, is that we're fighting the apes.
Really?
It's the rumor. Now, did you ever see Baby Driver? I think you'd love Baby Driver.
I heard it was good, though. I have no clue what it's about.
It's essentially a getaway driver, but he's a younger kid. It was fantastic. I really liked it. I think you'd really enjoy that. Wonder Woman is tremendous.
Okay.
An outstanding movie. Those are the main ones out.
All right.
And Big Sick.
Man, I'm not really into the whole superhero thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing. If you're not into the suit, essentially every 2 or 3 weeks in the summer, you're going to find a new superhero movie out, right? Yeah. You'd love Baby Driver, I think.
All right.
Baby Driver.
Yeah, maybe we'll do that. We'll do that one day this week, possibly. So
I guess it's on that note.
Sorry to end things on a downer.
Yeah, man, that one is
Fast 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yep, nothing wrong there. Nothing wrong.
It's all normal.
All.
It's all normal. That's how it goes every week. I think you go.
All right.
This week.
Okay, first on the list, Game of Thrones.
Ooh, glad I gave it up.
Okay, next. I might have used this before, but I'm not sure. Spider-Man Homecoming.
Oh my god, I need to see it again and again. I loved it.
War for the Planet of the Apes.
Boy, that's sounds like that's the third movie where we're fighting them gorillas. I don't know anything about it.
This perhaps the one to appear on the Fast Five list the most, at least my Fast Five list, Mayweather-McGregor. So much has happened in the last week.
Boy, yeah, we're a little over a month away. I will say it dashed my excitement a little bit.
And the final one on the Fast Five list, Donald Trump Jr.
Oh, scumbag, top to bottom.
Yeah, it
needs to be prosecuted, right?
Boy, it's weird that you spent months and months and months saying that there was no contact with Russia. And then when it is revealed that there was contact with Russia, they all do the whole...
Well, it's okay, though.
Well, this just proves that no knowledge was gained. But it also proves that you had contact with Russia.
Donald Trump actually came out today and dropped "that's politics" line. Essentially, they've moved on from denial to, well, it's not even bad. It's totally fine that he does that.
Boy, it didn't take him long to become one of the ones in the swamp,
right,
that he vowed to get rid of.
Man, what a disgusting display this is turning into. Week after week, it's something new, right?
Yeah. Week after week, it's something new, and then there's another sideshow to try and take your eyes off of it. And
look over here; it's a shiny object, right?
Look at this. Rosie O'Donnell said, "I'm stupid." Oh, she's fat.
Yeah. Look at that covered bridge.
Don't you? So help me God. Hashtag team covered bridge.
Hashtag team suspension bridge. Found some beautiful covered bridges this past week when I was looking for stock images. Those look great, and I'm sure that the creeks that they run over,
they're great.
I'm sure it gets real rocky come wintertime. Man, I get that there needed to be a way for Al Capone's group to get the moonshine over Buck Creek back in the 20s.
Does that timeline work out? Yeah, that's right.
Was that the 20s?
Yeah.
But boy, we're past those now. Build grown-up bridges. They don't need roofs. Just need to be able to pass.
You know what doesn't need to be repainted every year? A covered bridge. You know why? Because it's part of the earth now.
Oh, that's right. It's all one now.
Yeah. It's like the tree of life in Avatar. All right, before Donald Trump Jr. and covered bridges talk, Mayweather-McGregor.
Yeah, they had this massive press tour. I said it's dashed my excitement because it devolved into teenage name calling more than it already had. There was homophobic slurs, some accusations of racism.
Yeah.
And boy, if there's one thing that's going to be tune me out until fight day, it's nonsense.
Weird. Because it's meant to hype people up. First of all, I wonder how much they sold tickets for, because they did that.
Those are free.
Were they really?
Those were free.
Okay, because they did that in 3 different cities,
like four or five cities in 4 days or 5 days, something like that. And they weren't like New York to L.A. to Florida. No, it was Toronto, London, L.A., New York, maybe one more.
I saw one of the most irresponsible pieces of journalism about this fight. I don't even want to name a website because I'm not positive of who it was, and I don't want to call somebody out unfairly. But they showed pictures, like side by side tweets from when McGregor and Mayweather were flying to London for their press tour. They were both flying on private jets. This article essentially was called like "Fakers: Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather Jr. fly to London together on the same private jet." So what they did was they saw the one picture, they saw the other picture, and they said, those planes' interiors look the same, made the leap in logic that they were on the same flight and that it was all just a big show and that they were just doing it for the press. So there's like this 5-paragraph article saying how fake it is, how this is why people don't take MMA seriously. This is why nobody likes boxing anymore. It's all about the hype. It's not really about the fight.
Unreal.
And then at the bottom, there's like in bold, update. And then it says, we later learned that this was not the case.
Just delete the article. Don't update it.
Yeah, because you're still, like, it's still out there.
Man, there was a similar story to that. It was this baseball season. Somebody who, presumably, well, obviously not a baseball fan, wrote an article. So somebody got hit and cited a benches clearing issue, which happens in baseball from time to time. So she took a video of the pitch. Now, the catcher, now, Steve, you're not like a baseball aficionado, but you're familiar.
Mm-hmm.
So the catcher was down in his stance, held down one finger and flicked it to the leg towards the batter.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean to you?
Inside fastball.
She thought that was the cue to hit him and wrote an entire article about how, look at this damning evidence. They wanted to hit him. This is going to change baseball. She got annihilated online. But again, it's the same thing. Like, that's an article, one, it shouldn't have been published anyway. I don't care if it's a blog anywhere. You delete it and issue a whole new thing in its place that is just a, hey, we're sorry, that was obviously wrong. Not a italicized thing on the bottom saying,
oopsie doopsie.
Oopsie, we dropped the milk. Oh no, type of thing. Like, boy, I'm so glad I am not in that field. I have a degree in that field, and I'm not in it. But those people are getting away with that nonsense.
Yeah, the Mayweather-McGregor thing, I agree, though. I was excited when I first heard about it. I was excited during all the hype and during all of the dodging and like, no, we're not going to fight. Yeah, we're going to fight. Oh, you got to pay me $1 million. And then when it finally happened, I'm like, oh, this is great. It's actually going to happen. And then, yeah, watching that, I was like, the best thing to come out of it was the bad lip reading of it. Right.
And it's just because, like, and again, neither of these guys are humble. Neither of these guys seem friendly. Now, they also know what to do to sell a fight, but I think they both took it way too far this time, and it bordered, like, it was eye-roll cringeworthy.
Yeah.
I'm still going to watch the fight. That's why I didn't tune into any of this press conference stuff.
I did appreciate how Conor McGregor had a custom suit made, a custom pinstripe suit, but the pinstripes just said, didn't they just say F you?
F you. Yeah, the pinstripes were F you instead of pinstripes. So very thin white lettering. Yeah, for a guy who's he's not like, I'm trying to feed my family, but his whole thing is, listen, I'm here for the money. I'm trying to provide for my children.
Yeah.
Boy, does it seem like he pisses away money on stupid stuff.
Yeah, it definitely does.
Man, I'll be there. A month and a week away.
For that War of the Planet of the Apes.
You
gave your review on it.
That is a third movie in a gorilla trilogy.
A gorilla-G.
Most accurate thing I can say about it. I saw the first one, and I saw that, which came out in 2011. I saw it last year because it was on Amazon for like $4.99. So, yeah, I heard good reviews, so I watched it, but I've never seen the second one because until it falls below $8 for Blu-ray,
right, I
won't patronize it, and that's on principle, Steve.
Before that, Spider-Man Homecoming. I know you've seen it, what, half a dozen times?
Saw it twice. I haven't soured on it. I still love it, but I have to put away my comic nerdness to truly enjoy it because it somewhat bastardizes the comics for its for the sake of the cinema.
And first on the list was Game of Thrones.
Yeah, that premiered.
Came back last night, right?
Yeah.
I saw that.
I had to turn off Twitter because everything was, oh, he's here, winter's coming, oh, look who's back. Yeah, like, I don't care. I stopped 4 years ago when I realized there was no hope and everything was sad. And why am I... Beautifully made television, Steve. Mm-hmm. Top to bottom, direction, script, everything's gorgeous about it and well done, right? There's not 1 ounce of hope in that entire program. And if you want to argue with me, go ahead, find us on social media. It's the saddest show on TV. Anybody you like, any character you enjoy, plan on them being butchered, plan on them dying, fading away. Nothing good will ever happen to them.
But
nothing.
Did you hear the big news?
Oh boy, hit me.
Ed Sheeran was in the episode last night.
Oh, I did hear in advance about that, but I heard, I would have been fine with it, but then he was singing, like, why?
Because I've never watched the show. I think I've watched one episode, and it was when Annette and I first started dating, and that was 3.5 years ago.
Yeah.
So I looked it up earlier today to see what the big deal was, and I've never watched the show, but it seems very out of place. He's just sitting in the woods in front of a fire singing, and then everyone else starts singing along with him.
And that was it.
That was it, yeah.
Huh. Internet was in an uproar.
Yeah, internet loved it.
Boy, oh boy.
All right, your turn.
Fast 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Number 1, Prime Day.
Kind of a disappointment.
Always is. Donald Trump Jr.
Feel like he did some bad things. Kyle, I feel like he did some bad things.
Aaron Carter.
The Backstreet Boy? Or is
Backstreet
that the
Boy's younger brother?
The brother of the Backstreet Boy. Boy, I don't know. I'm not up on my Aaron Carter.
Oh, man. Dunkirk.
Don't know.
Ooh.
Big story?
Off air, we're going to have to show you something.
Okay.
We'll talk about it. But and lastly, but
is it one of those things where
movie.
Movie.
Lastly, fall softball.
Reluctantly, I guess I'm in.
That's that excitement we're looking for on Team Remax, everybody. You heard it here first. Steve back for fall ball.
Are we getting new jerseys?
Team sponsors ponying up. He better. I don't know if we are. I doubt it.
I want new jerseys.
Okay. I'll see what I can do. I mean, he is fronting the entire fee.
I want, for
the league. So should we tell him we demand jerseys
I want a long sleeve jersey, too, in case it gets chilly.
Yep.
And I want the C on my, I guess on the right side of the front of my jersey.
Oh, you want the captain?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Can I be an alternate?
No.
Oh, damn. I can't even get an alternate on the own team I organized.
Nope. Absolutely not.
Before that, I mentioned Dunkirk. Now, that is Christopher Nolan, who's made films like Interstellar, the previous Batman trilogy. His newest film comes out this week called Dunkirk, based on the Battle of Dunkirk from World War II.
Oh.
Like epic in scale, sweeping landscapes, and obviously all of the machinery of war and everything. And from the looks and sounds of it in the reviews, it sounds tremendous.
Nice.
Yeah, you're gonna have to. You should watch the TV spots.
I like war
for it.
movies.
It looks fantastic. Before that, I mentioned Aaron Carter.
Yeah, what did he? So it was
the
Nick,
younger
Nick
brother.
Carter was in the Backstreet Boys, right?
Yep, he was the more famous. Aaron Carter, about 3-4 days ago, TMZ, if they see a celebrity, they'll chat with them type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this happened with him, and it was essentially how he's turned it around. He had a run-in last year at a nightclub where, people rushed the stage and had issues. Well, oh, yeah, you're not going to see me out there. I won't be getting any DUIs or anything like that.
Oh, boy. What happened?
48 hours later, Aaron Carter was arrested for DUI.
Oh, wow.
And
he called a shot.
Yeah.
Like the opposite, though.
Yeah, right. It's almost like he put a target on his back.
Yeah.
Like you thought, oh boy. Well, we're going to watch him now.
The cops were like, we'll get him. Don't worry.
Yeah, don't worry.
We'll get him.
This is going to be a story. Before that, Donald Trump Jr., we talked about at length.
He seems
like a nice guy.
Seems like a great guy.
More pictures coming out now, too. And I'm not like a PETA guy, but there was a picture that came out. Well, they've been out, but I just saw them of him holding like an elephant tusk that he had just cut off of an elephant he killed. And then today, him and his just gumpy looking brother. Eric Trump is the gumpiest looking guy I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Holding a dead cheetah that they killed.
So is that one of those things where like
you go to the African safari,
they take him out on safari. They basically trap a cheetah in like in a 2 foot by 2 foot cage, and then they say, "Mr. Trump, there's a cheetah.
Yeah.
Get it."
Man, that's one of the saddest things for me too. Growing up, cheetahs were like my favorite animal. Just based on the speed and the look of them, they're majestic.
There's going to be the people that say, "Oh, well, you eat cheeseburgers, don't you?
Yeah,
you like chicken, don't you?"
Yeah,
it's different. It's different.
Those are overbred and saturated cows and chickens. These are
majestic creatures.
I don't know if they're endangered cheetahs. I thought they were like threatened.
Well, they're not food.
Exactly. You're not killing a cheetah.
I'm not getting a cheetah burger.
Yeah, and I'm not having an ivory tusk sandwich.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so for clarification, yes, I think it's okay to kill animals to eat them.
Yep.
No, I don't think it's okay to kill animals simply to mount on your wall. Now, if you shoot a deer, you eat the deer, you get it processed, and then you take the antlers and put them up on your wall. Yeah, fine. Not for me, but
Well, and that's regulated because of there's a certain number they give out because of the population.
Yeah, I just don't want.
So
I just don't want people to think I'm anti-hunting.
Yeah.
In which case they'll think I'm anti-gun.
Right.
In which case they'll
we're not
think
going
I'm,
down that. There's a reason we don't go down that slippery slope on this podcast because that's not what this is about.
Yeah.
But yeah, needless to say, this is different, and I'm not going to argue with you. If you want to tell me I'm wrong, I'm okay with that. I get it. There's two camps on this. I think cheetahs are beautiful, majestic animals that belong in the wildlife. If you think they need to be shot and made into a rug, so be it.
Yeah, well, it's like those people you see that they shoot like a giraffe or something.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? What was that giraffe doing?
Yeah,
come on.
Exactly. And first thing I mentioned was Prime Day.
Amazon Prime Day. I have never bought anything on Prime Day, and I just never see anything that I'm like, yeah, got to do it.
You met a sucker today, Steve.
What'd you get?
Dozens. Just bought so much stuff. I'm trying to pull open the page just to look at how many orders I made that day.
Oh, nice. You made him pay.
Oh, yeah. As we've talked about, if you have Amazon Prime, you make, if you're going to buy 4 things, you buy one, you wait an hour or two, you buy another, et cetera, et cetera. You need to get as much packaging as you possibly can.
Yeah.
So let's see. Delivered Friday was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 items I bought from Amazon Prime Day, Steve.
Very good.
Yeah, some earphones, some Bluetooth earphones, some dog treats, some gifts for my nephews, a book, and our lovely sticker maker.
Well, congratulations. You really showed them.
Maybe I'm a sucker, and I'm not dumb enough to look at, this deal you can't pass up, but it's something that when I saw, I was like, well, I need to do, my nephew's birthday's coming up in a week and a half anyway. I need to get stuff there. Hey, there's these toys. This one's really cool. Hey, this is a really cool Spider-Man car.
Yeah.
You would like that. This is a cool Batman thing. I'll get, it's not, it just happened to be that day where everything was, hey, $4 or $5 extra bucks off. It's not like it was 80% off type of thing. But yeah, it is hype compared to what they ponied out for that. They had comedians reading reviews to advertise Prime Day. All you saw was Prime Day on TV commercials, and
they did. It was definitely hard to avoid.
Yep,
definitely hard to avoid.
Boy, well, in lieu of not getting to 80% of our stuff, that's it.
Yeah, that's how it goes. You know that at this point, and the only reason you know that is because we tell you. So we could say, yeah, we got to everything.
Oh, that's a good point. We should just lie about it, right?
But your old buddy Steve and Kyle, we're an honest group.
We're not here to lie.
We don't lie to you.
Nope. Well, Saturday's the day. If you're coming out, we're excited. I am very excited to see everybody.
Yeah, do me a favor. If you're going to be out there, tweet at us at some point. Let us know where you're going to be. And it would be cool to meet up with people. And if nobody shows up, I completely expect that and understand
that's totally
it too.
fine. Totally fine.
So thank you if you're even considering it. We greatly appreciate it. Anyone who shows up, you're going to get a T-shirt. So let us know your T-shirt size.
Some other garbage merch. Yep.
Let us know your T-shirt size beforehand. In the meantime, you can enjoy the latest show. Be sure to share this, download, subscribe, review the show on iTunes, Google Play, TuneIn, Stitcher, and Libsyn. You can follow us on Twitter at Steve and Kyle and Facebook.com/Steve and Kyle. Also on Snapchat. Logged into my Snapchat for the first time in about 3 weeks.
Hey!
Just recently. Still don't know what I'm doing. Don't plan on ever really fully jumping on board with that.
Right. That's at Steve and Kyle Pod. If you haven't found us there, please do.
All right. Well, we'll talk to you next week. Hopefully see some of you guys on Saturday.
Boston details.
High-interest debt is one of the toughest opponents you'll face. Unless you power up with a SoFi personal loan. A SoFi personal loan could repackage your bad debt into one low fixed-rate monthly payment. It's even got super speed, since you could get the funds as soon as the same day you sign. Visit SoFi.com/power to learn more. That's SoFi.com/POWER. Loans originated by SoFi Bank N.A. Member FDIC. Terms and conditions apply. NMLS 696891.
Looking to buy your first car or home? Understanding your FICO score is key to achieving your life goals. Knowing your FICO scores helps you apply for loans with confidence and avoid surprises. With MyFICO, you get access to your FICO score, credit reports, 24/7 monitoring, and alerts on the go. Take the mystery out of your score and get your FICO score for free today. Visit myfico.com/free and discover the score lenders use most.
At Hollywood Feed, you and your pet are always welcome. We love seeing wagging tails and happy faces in our stores. But hey, we get it. Life gets busy. That's why Hollywood Feed offers same-day delivery on all your pet's favorites. Food, treats, toys delivered to your door fast. So whether you stop by or shop online, we've got you covered. Hollywood Feed. More fetching, less waiting.